There we go. Howdy. Make sure voice is working. Microphone. Why don't I see my levels? Hold on. Baby, you cannot. You cannot. Well, I'm assuming you can hear me. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I can see my actual... Yeah, it says audio. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. I see it. Cool. Why aren't you somewhere else? Drag it out for just a second. You are just... Stop it. She's like licking me. You can't see her. She's right here. She's got my arm. You might be able to hear it because she's standing right next to the microphone. So you might hear a little... And if so, that's what that is. It's a little tiny kitty cat just licking the shit out of my arm because I'm trying to work OBS while she looks at me and she's trying to get my attention and she's just... Oh, I know. I love you too, but it hurts when you... There we go. Excellent. 1 concurrent viewer. I think it's just me, so I'm just talking to myself. So that's okay. Yeah, it's just me. Haha. Alright, I'm going to leave my own stream so I can actually leave. Anyway, so the audio mixer is there. Oh, now you'll let me put it places. Cool. Okay. I'd also like you to pop out. Can I put you somewhere? Please stop licking me. Would it kill you, little girl, to stop licking me? There we go. Now I think I have the room. But the question is... Yeah, okay, that works. I can leave it on the screen like that. I can still see the chat. I can see my levels. That hurts. Your little spiky, rough tongue, little kitty cat tongue. It hurts. And you're making my arm wet. Oh, real quick, while I'm here, since nobody's watching, I'm also gonna check. Oh, okay, yeah, camera looks... My hair looks like shit, but whatever. And my room, as usual, looks like a discordant mess, but, you know, whatever. That's the way it is. Is this the real Wallow? Yes, this is me. Hello. This is my kitty cat, Wario. Here, where is it? Hang on. Here we go. Let's do... Oh, I should probably move the shirt off the back of my chair, too. Just look a little bit cleaner. But anyway, so here we go. Let's put that on her. There. So now we're... This is the real deal. This is the real bad guys from the Mario games. She's like, I hate this. Why do you do this to me? Will you wear the hat for just a second? Will you actually wear it? No? No. Yeah, she's like, no, I don't want the hat. Alright, that's fine. Anyway, you can sit in my lap. You can sit in my lap. Oh, no, okay. Alright, you can go up there. Alrighty, so I'm trying to think what I actually, like, want to do tonight. Because the last stream, I said I was going to try to finish the script. I did not, because... Of course I didn't, because life got in the way like it always does. And, you know, I brought it, you know, I brought it with me. I had it on my phone. I saved it. And I tried to get that done because I wanted to have the, Nintendo invest in this now. I wanted to get the script done, so that I could... You're going to be annoying all night, aren't you? I can feel it already. This is the start of a... Try not to mess with you and you're, like, making it hard. There you go. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I wanted to get the script for Indiana Jones done. Or, well, for the not the whole thing. I wanted to get the intro scene done, and I haven't gotten that far. As per usual. But that doesn't mean we can't still do some filming. I don't have to have the voice tracks laid out to do the actual filming process. So I think what I want to do tonight is probably get a little bit of the scenes filmed, and then depending on how far we get through that process, if we have time still left, I will probably do some more, production work, actual technical work. But yeah, so let's start. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to switch over to our main scene here. So obviously, like I got OBS running, for the stream, but I'm going to open up a second OBS like I did last week. And we're going to get that functional. Yeah, launch anyway. Run in normal mode. I don't know why. The first one didn't need to run in safe mode, so I don't know why we're currently running one. But alright, so this guy says we're behind the bricks, but we know we're not. So this one, we're going to switch to Block Wars. And Profile Block Wars. So that we're in the anamorphic widescreen. Now, I know technically we don't need to be in anamorphic. I can move this too. Oh, it's too big. Hold on. Whee! Alright, I know technically we don't have to be in anamorphic widescreen to shoot. I just like it. I think it looks the best. And then anyway, why am I not seeing my scenes, my sources? Here we go. Blockland is there. I don't have the webcam because I don't need it. Yeah, okay, cool. So actually, yeah, that is all I need right now. So let's open up Blockland. And let's open up our script. And so today, it's been a couple of weeks, but we're finally getting to a point where I can actually show off how I personally make, Machinima. And I mean from the actual, production value of it. So we went through this whole thing, this whole process. And obviously right now it's just baked, but, eventually, presumably, when I turn this into some kind of, archival documentary thing, and or when more people show up to the stream, the idea is to get a feel for, my process, my technical process. So the first thing I'm going to do that I get this question all the time, and it's what are the add-ons that that are necessary for making a Machinima, and so I will go over that first while we're here. So I've got, okay, so firstly, I guess we should start with software probably. So I like to, of course, you have to have Blockland. So if that is, if you have the, if you don't have the money, it's like $5 on a Steam sale. Like, Blockland is really inexpensive nowadays. So like, I would just say, just fuck it, just buy Blockland. It's worth it. Even if you're just, because especially if you just want to use it for Machinima, trust me, it's worth it. And then secondly, obviously OBS, which is a wonderful tool. I used to use Fraps, which, do I even still have that installed? Probably not. Whoa, what's this? I guess, maybe at one point, 22? Yeah, maybe I was going to get Fraps. Maybe OBS wasn't working the way I thought it was. But anyway, I used to use Fraps. Fraps used to be my go-to. But Fraps records in an uncompressed AVI format, which I have found, while gives you a decent, raw video file, it takes up a lot of space on the hard drive. Whereas OBS could be configured to, and here I can even show it, our recording settings. Presumably it would want to open those. Maybe it won't open settings. Because, okay, I guess I can't show the settings, which sucks. I wanted to show the settings. But anyway, the OBS is configured in such a way that it records in an MP4 format. And I like that because it makes the files a lot more manageable while losing hardly any of the quality of the recording. So secondly, okay, so now into add-ons, right? All right, so one of the bigger add-ons, which I don't necessarily think people think of, but what I really like to use is I use an add-on. First thing you're probably noticing is that we're in that anamorphic widescreen, right? So I don't like to shoot in 16:9 and then crop because I feel like in my mind, I lose the ability to properly, composite my shots in such a way where I like to do them in real time. I like to be able to see what my frame is going to line up. So the first add-on I use is the custom resolution. And so I use the custom resolution add-on because then I can really just change the size of the window to be whatever the hell I want it to be. And in this case, I have it set to 1920 by 802. Now 1920 by 802, that is the 1080p, full HD anamorphic widescreen resolution. And so that's what I like to shoot a lot of my movies in. If I'm doing a regular video where I want it to be a full frame 16 by 9, obviously I use 1920 by 1080. And I only do that because I like to personally play Blockland in a windowed mode like you're seeing right now. And I have a 2K monitor, right? So you can see that I still have a lot of space on my monitor to do other things, to have other programs open and like have my script up and all that stuff. Obviously, I could shoot, I guess, in 2K, but then again, you run the risk of the files being bigger and, and the necessary, like, I don't really personally think anyone wants to or needs to watch a YouTube Blockland Machinima in 2K, if not 4K, if not 8K, if not whatever, Here, let me pull up. I'm sorry, classic 2009. Try 1993. No, I had a toy when I was a little kid. When Toy Story, before Toy Story 2 was even out, I had one of the original Woodies from like 1996 or whatever. Like I had, because when did Toy Story 2 come out? 98? 2000? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. It was the 90s. I was a very little child. Anyway, Toy Story 1 came out when I was still a babby. Anyway, where was I going with this? Pulling up my YouTube to show my Machinima stuff. That's what I'm trying to get to. But anyway, so yeah, Block Wars Complete Saga. Like, pulling that up just for a second. So this is obviously, this is it in 1080p. In that, and it's in the same resolution. It's in the 1920 by 802. And I have it set to... Oh, this is even in 720. It's not even its full... there you go. So there it's in its full thing. And it's like, here it is in full screen, which I think you can see. Yeah, you can see my screen. It looks great. I mean, this is obviously after the YouTube compression. We're running it in Blockland anyway, so you're going to get some artifacting no matter what, because, Blockland itself, there's no anti-aliasing, there's no dithering, there's no softening of the edges. It's already a very, crunchy-looking old game. So I don't think that shooting in anything outside of 1080p is necessary. So that's why I use 1920 by 802. So that's that's a personal preference, but I do like to use the custom resolution app because I do think that is a very good add-on. So anyway, so let's go into the actual filming add-ons that you're going to need, right? So, let's see. So, like I said, I have a lot of fucking add-ons here, so I'm going to go into the big ones. Let's see if I can find them. Watch, I can't even probably find them. So, aside from, obviously, your hats and your costumes and all of that stuff, is this even going to show up on the... Of course not, because they're client-side add-ons, aren't they? All right, I'll have to go into my add-ons folder. That's okay. Here, while we do that, let's just start the server while we're going. Okay, so biggest add-on I like to use is, of course, the HUD add-on, which is, or what's it called? Hide? Film mode? Is that what it's called? Yeah, film mode. Okay, here we go. So script film mode. So this is the first add-on I definitely suggest getting. So what script film mode does is, and I'll show you how to use it here in the game once it loads up. But once you do is you can, it hides your HUD, and it takes all of your HUD elements, all your heads-up display elements, and just completely hides them so that you get a nice, clear, HUDless image. So, and again, this is for, again, it's just baked. It's just you in the stream right now. So I know I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but this is of course for people who are watching who don't know. Because eventually I'll probably clip all of this stuff later when I do a behind-the-scenes compilation. And so basically what this add-on does is, like I said, it hides your HUD. So I have it currently set to the keybind of Control-H, just because that way I remember to hide my HUD is Control-H. And of course, as soon as this likes to load, I'll get into it. Hi, baby. Hi, are you talking? Yeah. So here we go. Okay, so yeah, so Control H, and that hides my HUD, and that completely removes, names. It removes your cursor, your crosshair, whatever. It removes the chat. It removes the items. It removes everything. So you get a nice, clear, So when you pull out in an admin orb, well, I guess you have to still F5 to remove the names. Woo! But when you pull out into an admin orb, you get a really nice, just clean, empty frame that you can use to shoot things in. So that's the most important add-on, I would say, to anyone trying to make Machinima. If you're trying to get started, this is the probably most important add-on, is to get this one, because nobody wants to watch a video that has all this shit in it. You know, nobody wants to see that. It's distracting. I mean, you know, that's like, and it's the sign of unfortunately, it's the sign of being an amateur machinima maker. So secondary, so since I have it pulled up here because I searched film, obviously film bots. I'll go into a little bit of what film bots are. So film bots were probably one of the most revolutionary add-ons, I think, for me as a machinima maker, because I have never been one. As much as I do like working with other players, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with shooting with other players. Obviously, there's a lot of fun to be had with shooting with other people. But as somebody who has such an irregular schedule, who has not a lot of time to work out schedules with other players and to make sure that they're in my server, you know, where they need to be, all of that stuff, FilmBots has been a lifesaver, because it means that I can shoot multiple scenes without having to recruit other players. And so real quick, and you'll see me use this a lot, obviously, as I go through the scenes here. But so real quick, so I have mine keybound to Control F, right? So I hit Control F, and that starts recording a scene. And so what that does is it basically records all of my key inputs, all of my mouse inputs, all of the animations that are associated with those things, and, you know, all the actions and such. And it creates a bot, hence the name FilmBots. And so I have it set to Control Alt P. That replays my bot. And so that bot now has all of the actions that I just took, all of the movements I made, all of the clicking and mouse movements and everything, and it puts it into a bot that replays those actions and those yeah, so even activating and deactivating stuff, right? So that gives us that. And the cool thing too is, so I also have it set to now my other keybind, Control Alt F, that starts recording with both bots playing. And so this is how I can then act off of myself, right? So now I'm creating a second bot, and you can see in my chat there it says filming scene 2. So now I'm actually creating a secondary bot who is going to react to this bot. And so a lot of the time the way I do it is I like to record my main scene character first, so like whoever I think is the subject of the scene, and then I record the secondary character. So now you can see when I hit Control Alt P, I've got both scenes playing. And of course the cool thing too about FilmBots is obviously you can record and play back any number of scenes that you need. So I don't have to have both of these scenes playing. I could have a couple of different bots all queued up for different things and different purposes. But anyway, so let's do one last one. Control Alt F to record, and so I'm over here, and I'm just recording here, and I am just, you know, just following these guys around, just looking at them. I'm circle strafing. Looks like that guy jumped over the other guy. That's pretty cool. And I'm like, wow, we're all wiggling our arms. I'll wiggle my arms, and then, yeah, I'll stop that recording, and then I'll hit, and we can watch. So now I've got all three of these guys. And so then, combined with my film HUD, now we've got a scene. I mean, granted, this isn't a scene of anything, but that looks like people playing the game. That's people, you know, creating and doing the actions that it would look like if I had actual players in the game right now. Oops, didn't mean to play them again. And then, of course, we can also, the easiest, just delete scene. Oh, that's all one word. Hold on. Delete. I know I could have this as a keybind too, but delete scene all. I like to have, the only things I have keybound are recording and playback. Everything else I still use the chat for. So if I want to play scene 2, oh right, I deleted them. But yeah, I do it with slash commands. But anyway, so that's FilmBots. And FilmBots, of course, also records your appearance. So, you know, you can change your avatar. I currently have it set to work with hats as well. So that if, and I actually had to have Conan help me with this one, so that my FilmBots, the way that they use hats, because the system that I currently use for hats is an old Packer script. But yeah, so that actually records the hat that you're wearing, so that stays, you know, so that the FilmBot actually keeps it and wears the hats that I need them to wear. So yeah, and there, okay. All right, what else do I use? So, I also like to use, so Newtonian camera was the other one I was going to go for. So client Newtonian camera. So Newtonian camera, if you're not aware, I have that one currently keybound to Control N. So Newtonian camera, basically, instead of your mouse being a one-to-one, you know, your sensitivity X movement on the mouse axis is X movement on the screen, whatever. It adds an easing or whatever, or physical. I mean, since it's called Newtonian, it adds a physical reaction to the camera so that it can ease around. You see how it's like I'm easing in and out of my mouse movements so that as the camera rotates, everything's kind of like slowing down and gets faster and slower, like as if though it were a real physical camera that had to actually physically turn on a tripod or on a fluid head tripod, basically. And so what that allows me to do is it gives me a lot of control over my shots. So first of all, one thing I really like about Newtonian camera is it allows me to like really smooth out and smooth shots. Like I can do smooth pans, I can do smooth tilts. I can really do. One of my favorite things is to admin orb out and really slow myself down. I can like, if I get my movement of my mouse correctly. Here, hang on. I need more room on my table. There we go. If I can orbit around my character and I get my movement nice and smooth, I can keep that track. And I'm not doing a great job right now. This isn't the best. I'm getting it pretty good there. But like I can actually do that track by just moving my mouse to the right. And because here's what I would try to do without Newtonian. And I'm moving the same speed. I'm moving the mouse at the same speed. It's just because of that mouse sensitivity being so high, it's taking every single bit of... Every time my hand shudders, you can see as it drags across the table. With Newtonian camera turned on, we get a nice, smooth... And it allows me to move my mouse in such a way that I can actually do a quick track around my character like this. And that's just one of the many things that you can use it for. I mean, again, tilts and pans are what I use it for mostly. Because it gives you a nice actual, a really good, smooth, shot. And you can set things, too. I don't even remember what the commands are now, because I barely use them. The default Newtonian camera is set up perfectly. But you can actually set this, the rate of how much... here, I think it's in the thing. Let me look real quick. And like I said, all of these things can be... Film mode, film bots, Newtonian camera. Here we go. Increase drag. So I don't have it set to anything, but you can increase the drag. You can increase the mass. Let's increase drag. What could I make that a key bound to? O, I think I'm not using. Decrease drag, I'll make P. Increase mass, I'll make K. Decrease, I'll make L. Just, why not? And I know I can do force too, but let's increase... the drag. So there we go. So the drag is now set to 0. So that's... Wow, okay. So maybe I want that higher. Whoa! Oh, no. Anyway, so we're... Drag... Let's set the drag up to something high. And then let's set the mass up higher. Yeah, so the higher the mass you have, the harder, the more you have to put. So I can do really subtle movements. But I think I have it set to Alt-M or Control-M. There we go. Newtonian mass reset to 10. Let me reset the drag back down to whatever its default was, which I think there's a keybind for that too. Here we go. Yeah, reset drag is I have it set to Control-D. I'm going to clear. Can I clear this? Backspace to clear. There we go. Thank you. I want to clear these because I don't actually want to accidentally. So I only do Control-D to set. Okay, so 5. So Newtonian camera is set to 5 and mass is set to 5 or 10 or whatever. So the default drag, force, and mass are I don't really mess with those settings too often. But like I said, that gives you this nice ability to orbit around or to just pans and tilts, and and even helps with zooms and dolly shots and things like that. Like I did the trench run, for example. We can pull that up real quick. Just to give you an example of something I used the Newtonian camera for that I felt was pretty effective. Let me find it. So that really famous shot where right when you enter the trench... Oh, that was Newtonian camera too, actually. Hold on. Here we go. So here, this is a shot. Moving upward like that. You can see how nice and smooth that was. And then... Okay, they're approaching the Death Star, Death Egg, and red leaders, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, come on. Just want to see this shot. Did I already pass it? I think I already passed it. I don't even remember where it is in my own movie. Come on, just show it. Just show that shot. You know the one that I'm talking about. It's. Did I really not? Did I not actually use it? I could have swore I... Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go. Okay, when they actually go into the trench, I guess. It's that. So that I did with Newtonian camera. It's not the best. It's not perfect. But you can see how smooth I was able to actually like get into the trench and make it look like you're flying down in. It's that same shot that's from Star Wars. Let's pull it up. There it is. Yeah, this one. Which I guess it really did look like that in the original movie. It does kind of have that sort of... So I guess I got it even closer to the real shot than I thought I did. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I use things like Newtonian cameras for stuff like that. I really love how they go from... You can tell it's a matte painting. And they use the... this is just a quick... They use the shot of the laser blast to hide the transition into the model. Because the matte painting's the whole thing, the whole trench run, and then boom, you're in the model and you're actually flying through it. I love that. I love shit like that. But anyway, so that's how I like to use Newtonian camera. Okay, so I think that's all of the major add-ons that I use. So yeah, it's HUD hider, so film mode, film bots, and Newtonian camera, and the custom resolution if you want to shoot in an anamorphic ratio like I do. Those are I would say those are the necessities of filming in Blockland. So now that we have all of our add-ons and we know what we're going to do, now I like to do this. So I open up Premiere. And you can use obviously whatever editing software you want. It's up to you. There is no right or wrong about what editing softwares to use. I use Adobe Premiere because it is the one that I know the most. It's the one that I've used the longest. I've been using Premiere since, I want to say 2010 is when I switched over to Premiere. Before that, I was using Vegas, and I didn't use Vegas for very long. And before that, I was using a really old program called Womble. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick while we wait. Womble. What happened to Womble? Yeah, what happened to Womble? Here it is. Yeah, so Womble was really primitive. So some of my very earliest Blockland stuff was edited on Womble. And I don't think I have any files from any existence back then. Because at that point, I'm pretty sure when I was starting to do things like Block Wars 2009, I was using, like I said, Sony Vegas. And I wasn't even editing that project. That one was all on WRB852's computer. But yeah, so this was Womble. It was pretty primitive. It was a decent non-linear editor for what it was worth. It was super, super primitive. It was basically, it was like 2 steps above Windows Movie Maker, but not much higher than that. I still have, it's on my external, which is not hooked up right now. I still have an old project that I had that still used Womble. But anyway, so okay, so we're in Premiere. Or we're in your editor of choice. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to put it in my Blockland project, Blockiana Jones Raiders, and I'm going to put it in, I am just going to probably make a folder here called Assembly. And I don't know if I'm going to put anything in this except the file. But I'm just going to call this Raiders TL1, which just timeline. Well, oh, right. Sorry. Select that folder. Call it Raiders TL1. And so, yeah, that's going to go in that assembly folder. I'm not going to worry about any of the specific stuff yet. other than the scratch disk. Actually, yeah, that is why I do want there to be an assembly folder, because I want all my scratch files to go in there. Because Adobe uses that as the scratch file and will, do all that stuff. But I might still need some certain Adobe like related things, like certain title sequences and stuff that doesn't really belong in any other folder. I'll probably put in the assembly folder later on. So it's good to have a folder. It's good to organize your projects. That's something that even to this day I don't necessarily do, and I know every professional has their own difference of how they do stuff. I try to be organized now as a quote-unquote adult professional, but I'm still just as lazy as I was when I was 15, and sometimes I don't keep everything as organized as I probably should. But anyway, so let's so right now I have OBS set to record in the old episode 3 folder. So real quick, I think I need a controls. Yeah, here we go. Start recording. So real quick, I'm just going to record a scene. Just a template scene here, essentially. A plate, so much, if you will. Show recording. So yeah, everything's going to go in the episode 3 folder because for whatever reason, OBS is just not letting me open the settings while I'm streaming in another OBS. Maybe that's why. Maybe this OBS will let me turn the settings on? No? Oh, yeah. So this OBS will. Let's see if it'll... So output... video... No, it's not. It's not going to let me do it, I think, because I'm streaming currently. I should have set this while I was... Yeah, because the recording path is... So whatever. I should have set it before I started recording. Whatever. Everything's going to go in the episode 3 folder, which I still have open here. And that's okay, because I will move it. I will just manually move anything we record today into the correct folder. And then later I'll set it up so that it is actually set to go into the Raiders folder. But anyway, so I'll go back here, footage. I know I had some footage from last time. I guess I could have used this. I forgot I had it. But anyway, so I was going to do that. I'm going to drag that into my file so that I can import it into my stuff. And because this is just how I like to do it, I just like to drag, and this is how Adobe will do it. You can just drag a file into your timeline, and Adobe will automatically create that timeline for you to actually match all of the settings to your footage. And so that way I don't have to worry about any of my outputs being different from the inputs I'm putting in. So that set it to that 1920 by 802. It set it to 60 frames per second. It set it to the right encoding settings and the audio settings and everything else. So I don't have to fucking think about it. So anyway, so now obviously you don't have to have your editor open while you're doing shots, but I like to have them open because I have found that when it comes to making Machinima, because of the fact that you get to iterate so quickly, because resetting is so simple, because it's not like shooting any other kind of projects or even animating projects where you have to wait for rendering, because it is literally just you're playing, you hit record, and you're done, you put it in your editor. I like to have these things kind of like open at the same time so that I can see what I'm doing and how shots fit together. I don't always do it this way, and I'm going to show you how I do the hybrid method, which is where we record scenes as we go, and then I edit them together later to create the actual final sequence as it happens. So I'm going to get rid of that so that we have it. I'm going to rename this in a timeline here. Oh, actually, so here we go. So let me show you how I set up my folders. So this is what I mean about being organized, right? So I always like to create a new bin, and in that bin I like to call it footage. And in that bin is where I'm going to put any file that is actually a Blockland video. But I also like to then create subfolders. So I'll create a bin in there. I'm going to call this scene 1, and what am I trying to say? I abbreviate that to SC1, so I'm going to put that into that folder as well. So this is scene 1. And now you don't have to necessarily get as nitty-gritty as like a shot list, because this is, of course, a non-professional project. You don't have to label everything, and you can get kind of messy with what you consider scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, etc. In a lot of the Block Wars projects, I mean, I have like 20 different scenes, but the reality of it is if I was actually going through on a shot list, I'd probably have 40 or something. You know, it's like I kind of get loosey-goosey on how I do my naming conventions to keep things organized, just as long as what makes sense to you. But if you're working with other people, of course, I definitely would adopt some kind of more professional way of naming and keeping things organized. Because when you work with other people, that's when you want that naming conventions to actually make sense, so that somebody else can discern what the hell you're doing. If it's just you, like me right now working, where it's just me making one project, by all means, you can get as loosey-goosey as you want. I don't think anyone gives a shit. But anyway, so, and then I like to make a bin for things like sound effects, because I'm going to need that later. I'm going to make a bin for music, because I'm going to need that later. We're going to, obviously, again, rip from Indiana Jones, so therefore I'm going to steal from John Williams of the London Symphony Orchestra once again. But I like to keep everything kind of organized in that way. And then, like, I don't know, I might even need a bin for things like titles and stuff like that. I like to keep everything nice and organized just to find it. And like I said, I like to organize my footage folder so that I actually have all of these things set up. So, and then I'm also going to rename my main timeline, and I'm going to probably name that TL1 as well. You can name it anything you want. You can name it Raiders. You can name it whatever your project is called. I might have some sub-timelines, and so that's why I want to make sure that I keep like a nested sequence or something like that. I might have a couple of sequences that run parallel to this. Sometimes I also like to do, like this timeline here, sometimes I like to make a separate timeline that I later call sound. So, like, I'll do all of my editing in this timeline, and then when that's done, I'll show you how it works just real quick. A new sequence, just call this sound pass or whatever, right? So, obviously, again, it's set wrong, but if I drag the timeline into sound pass, it should... Oh, well, maybe because it doesn't have anything in it. Hold on. That should work. Yeah, there we go. And it's going to say, yep, change sequence settings. So yeah, so there we go. So now my sequences are sequenced together. So now, so here's what I mean. So timeline 1 is essentially, I can make all my edits in timeline 1, you know, and move things around, drag and drop as I need, you know, add my transitions, add my titles, add whatever, pretend that's my edit. And in Sound Pass, this is just all I see. Right now, I just see my. It's almost like it's a subfolder again for my sequencing, and so now later I can add things like the sound, the music, the sound effects, and I can layer all of those down here and render out this timeline so that my main timeline doesn't necessarily get bogged down with, because I'm going to have so many layers anyway. I'm going to have all of these compositional layers. I'm going to have a couple of different sound layers through here, because I am going to have, like, probably recorded the Blockland sounds as well, which actually we should make sure that OBS is set to do that too. So let's, while we're here, sources. Yeah, we don't have any audio sources, do we? So we want that. I want an audio output capture. We'll just call that BL sound. And we're just going to, yeah, whatever the default output is. And then if I pull up another dock and have my audio mixers, why isn't BL sound showing on my audio mixer? Shouldn't it be there? That's weird that it's not showing up. Well, okay, we'll presume that that's working. But anyway, what was I trying to say? Oh, yeah, so... But yeah, so I like to record audio directly from Blockland so that I do get certain things like jumping and some of the atmospherical sounds, like where Blockland will add all of the, you know, different whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, all the different spatial sounds and all of that. But anyway, so now we've got everything set up, and I went over all of the add-ons that I use and why. I think we can actually go ahead and we can actually start recording some stuff. So since we're working on a project that's pre-existing media and we're doing it as a parody, I'm going to pull up my Indiana Jones 4K scene again. Raiders. There we go. So this is the first 7 minutes. So this is perfect because I have been thinking about it. If worst case scenario, if I don't do the entire movie as its own parody video, if I do just do the opening scene, even that would be enough to say this is for my tutorial. I'm hoping, I do want to get the rest. I would love to do Indiana Jones as at least the first one as a thing. And then I'd like to get back into doing Block Wars after this, because I would like to. I've had a lot of ideas about, because obviously I have to do fucking New Hope again because I've cursed myself, but Anyway, let's see if this has the whole. Does this have the opening, or does this start with the whip crack? Oh, this starts with the whip crack. Okay, this isn't actually what I want necessarily. Let's just see if we can find the opening scene on YouTube. First 10 minutes. I think I've used this one too, haven't I? Yeah, let's use this one. It's not in 4K, but that's okay because we just need it for the shot compositions. So okay, so our first shot, of course, is going to be a shot from the jungle and our dudes falling into line, walking down while we show some credits. So that is how we're gonna have to think of it, aren't we? So we get to. So that's the thing. So since we're doing parody, we get to do a lot of our own thought about the shot composition. We don't necessarily have to follow 100% what Steven Spielberg did here. You know, we can do our own thing. But I like to find moments of iconic shots, especially when we're doing parody. I like to find iconic shots that I can work off of so that I can get the imagery correct, because I feel like something about parody that gets a lot of people believing in the work that you're doing to be correct is if you can, well, you know, if you can get it going on. So Idol Temple mountain. How do I want to do this? Does the Idol Temple have the mountain? Let's find out. I forget what our first build looked like, because I did have the one mountain that I wanted to use. Okay, yes, it does have the mountain. And yeah, okay, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of playing around here, right? So this is where I want the mountain shot to be, and I want Indians and Co. to walk in front of it. So we're probably gonna have to cheat a little bit. But this actually, no, this kind of works, doesn't it? I think this works. I want to clear out some of this forest, though. I think that is going to... Oh, boy. All right. Because some of these trees are a little much. So let's clear out some of this forest here. Deforestation is ruining the natural Blockland aesthetic, and I am no better than the logging companies of Bad Spot Industries. I don't know what I'm saying. I was trying to make a joke about deforestation, and I couldn't really think of one. All right, let's see how this looks. This is better. I don't like that tree in the shot. And I don't know if I'm going to like this little gaggle of trees over here. I can kind of feel it already. I don't like these. So I'm taking these out as well. So let's see, how does this look? I don't like these bigger trees over here either. Hold on. I want it to look clean. I want it to look as clean as the original shot as I can get it. Obviously, I'm not going to get it 100% perfect because I am working off of the procedural terrain generator. So I am just kind of to the mercy of what that has given me. But obviously, if you are building something one-to-one to, you know, whatever production, if you're doing a parody like me, I think this tree probably needs to come down too. You can create things the way you want. Now, I also don't like necessarily all those trees on the mountain itself. I think I'm going to get rid of these too. I think these make it look a little uncanny. I don't know what the word actually would be. Seeing a little, like, some pine trees on the mountain doesn't really fit what I was going for with this shot. But the cool thing too is that we're gonna get this opening shot here. Now I am doing this little bit of work to clear these trees, but we're gonna get this opening shot in really, like, it's gonna be really quick. You're gonna see why I like Blockland as a medium, like, pretty quickly, because of how fast, and with film bots now, how fast you can get things done. How much more faster you can get things done than even with, like, traditional animation. Because I like to do 3D animation. You know, I have not made anything major myself, but, like, I do dabble in animation. You know, I've done it before. I've done some 2D animation. I've done some 3D animation. But obviously, anybody who's an animator can tell you that, of course, one of the biggest things about animating is that you you know, there's the time it takes. Like 3D animation is a little quicker than 2D animation because you're more reliant on the interpolation of frames than you are having to hand draw frame by frame. You know, even doing digital hand drawing, I should say. But with Blockland, and what I've sort of turned it into, when people ask me what Blockland Machinima is really, I've sort of kind of leaned into this idea that it's like, it's puppetry. It's a form of puppetry. Because you aren't necessarily animating these things directly, but you are puppeteering the way that they move and behave and, you know, enter and leave the frame in such a way that it's like, it's essentially digital puppetry is the best way I can describe it. So when people do ask, like, what is Blockland Machinima? What are you really doing? It's puppets, is what I like to tell them. So I think I just want to clear off some of the top layers of those trees, because there weren't super many trees. I just didn't like how they looked poking off the top here. I think that might be enough. Or, no, you know what? At this point, since there's only 2 left, I think I might as well just take them down. Whoa, I missed. There we go. Alright, now, let's see. Where was that spot we cleared? Over here? So now, from over here... Woo! Oh, I missed 1 tree. Alright, I'm going to go over and delete that. But otherwise, yeah, good. We got a clean mountain. And we got a clean vista of that mountain. So, there you go. That took me all, what, 10 minutes? And we already got a... Oh, yeah, so there's some green over there. I guess... I'm died. I don't care. That can stay. Because it's not really going to be in my shot in a way that I care. Trying to type and fly at the same time. Here we go. Let me just clear out this one last tree. Here we go. I was like, I feel like when I admin orbed. Come on. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. I don't mind those trees being up there like that. That can kind of, because that kind of blends into the rest of this shot here. So this is kind of our shot. This is what we're going to start with. So let's go ahead and change our environments to this idle temple 1. Okay. So I don't hate this. But I want it to kind of look like that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of got a fog to everything. So we're gonna mess with our environment a little bit too, to really get what I want. So let's go ahead and go into our environment file. And so firstly, I don't like how yellow everything is, and I know we have it set that way for a certain look. I think I am gonna turn the ambient light down a little, color-wise, to sort of neutral it out. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I am going to also probably turn the visible distance down a little and the fog distance down a lot. Yeah, there we go. So we can really fog out the background there. And then I'm going to change the sky color. I would have wanted it to be white, but of course that's just going to give us a blue sky because of the skybox that we're using. So that's not necessarily going to do what I want it to do. But I definitely want my fog color to be like closer to white. So let's see, how can we mess with the sky? I guess we'll have to go into the skybox itself and probably pick one that's a little closer to what we're trying to achieve. So maybe even a gray one. Oh, but that's going to be raining, of course, so we don't want that. A slate, kind of. And then if I change the sky color, can I get... No, that's not going to work either. Alright, let's try something else here. Hold on. How about... that's too gray. But... Can I mess with it? No, because I can't make it lighter, can I? Yeah. Do I have a... I don't even know if I have a sky that's going to do what I want it to do. I guess my best choice is that, huh? That's the closest I'm getting to the sky that I want. What? Yeah, I know. All right, well, that works. Oh, I want the visible distance. Hang on, I want the fog distance. There we go. So we want to kind of like, maybe we need the fog to be a little bluer then, so that it matches more with the sky as we have it. And then it looks like that's a little too much fog. There. Okay, so this is pretty good. So here's our opening shot. And how does that look? Well, no, hold on. The mountain needs to be a little darker then. And then maybe fog it up a little more. Well, you know what? Yeah, actually. Yeah. And then I can kind of turn this down a little bit. There. Alright, so this is like sort of the atmospheric look that I want that first shot to have. And then I also am seeing, like, so how else? And I want the shadows to really exemplify that Indy is in shadow. So let me look at where my character is. So right now the characters are not super duper shadowed up. So let me pull, actually real quick, let me pull back in my admin orb. And let me see what the shadow has to look like. So, oh, I can see why right now. So it's because of where the sun is. So the sun is currently to our back. So we want to fix that too. So let's change our sun azimuth. There we go. And that, of course, changes the entire scene, doesn't it? So let's mess with it till it looks just about right. And maybe even brighten up that without necessarily... There we go. So now the backs of our characters are in shadow. And the mountain itself is in... Okay, so let's watch this opening shot again real quick, right? So we obviously... We know that we're coming from the Paramount Picture logo. Which we can probably do our own little jokey version of it. I wanted it to somehow be able to fade in from the Blockland Classics logo, but I don't know if I can actually do that. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. You're starting to get hot. You can stay, but just letting you know that you're starting to get hot. All right, so, okay, so we're looking at... Something I also noticed is obviously we've got a little bit of movement in the wind here. Not really something we can create in Blockland, per se. But... So, okay, so the opening shot is, it's kind of Indiana Jones walks into frame. We pan back a little bit. And then we kind of keep panning back to reveal the rest of our group. I don't necessarily... Oh, you know what? Things are a little yellower, aren't they? I was right to keep things a little bit yellow. Let's fix that too. Our ambient light can still be a little, we'll add a little more red and a little more blue. Or, sorry, a little more green. There we go. That looks pretty good. It's pretty jungly. Yeah, okay. All right, let's start with, like I said, so this is how I like to start. So I'm going to start with my main character. So I'm going to pull up my Indiana Jones. And I'm going to put myself in the costume, and I'm going to put myself in the hat. Indy. There we go. Put myself in the hat. So this is Indiana Jones. And he's still in shadow, which is cool. Because that's what I want. I want him to be in the shadow, because that's how they have him in the beginning of the movie. Obviously, we can see his hat and his silhouette, so we know, as the audience, this is Indiana Jones. So we're going to have to... So let's start recording our scenes first. So let's look real quick and just kind of watch. Because we're gonna, so normally, if you're doing this, if you're shooting from, imagination, if you're shooting entirely from your own brain, and you've created your own intellectual property, you might want to have, you might want to actually board this and storyboard it and have shots that you want to work off of and different things. Obviously, one of the benefits to doing parody and why I like to work with parody a lot is because it gives me the opportunity to take something pre-existing and use that as my storyboards. So I can watch this and I can say, okay, so this is my first shot. It's a zoom. I don't necessarily have to recreate the entirety. So it looks like, okay, so we walk Indy into shot from a wide to a medium. So he himself, the shot itself never changes, but he comes into medium. And then we pan up to look at him, and he turns back. So maybe we can recreate this. So Indy walks into frame first. So let's start with that. So we're going to start recording our first scene. So Indy walks in, kind of walks into frame. He looks up at the mountain. He's like, okay. And then he keeps walking. And he's going to keep going. And he's going to keep going until I know he's probably out of frame at, say, about the bottom of this hill. And there. So that's where I'm going to stop. And we're going to pull back up. And I'm going to put my character over here, admin orb away. And we're going to, again, loosely line up the shot again. This is about where we assume... Oh, I'm still recording. We're going to be assuming that that's where we are. So let's see what that shot looks like. So we want Indy to walk into frame, right? So if we're zoomed in, we want him to walk into frame and look at the mountain. So he's going to actually... So no, so he can't come in from the left like that. So we're going to delete that scene and try it again. There we go. So he really... So actually, so maybe I should mark this. Because otherwise I'm going to forget. So marking, obviously, in real movies, for those who don't know, marking is, of course, you might use gaffer's tape, you might use, I don't know, whatever. But we want to try to remember what our angle of the camera is going to be at, so that I, as I'm doing these performances, can actually block my shot correctly. So I think what I'm going to do is to remind myself that the camera is kind of focused on this way. So like so this is the direction that I'm going to end up pointing the camera at, because this is also the direction my character's pointing, to see the mountain. So this is where I want to probably walk in. So I think, too, it looks like, in order to give myself the shot distance that I want, I'm going to probably have to create a little bit of a bridge here. So we're going to do that. Not like that. How would I want to do this? Probably this way. So I'm just going to create a quick bridge. And just, I don't know, something like a 6x24. That's going to be in plenty of room. I'm going to move it over as far as I can, and then I'm also going to probably turn the collision off of my markers. Even this thing. So that way the character can just walk right through it, because we're not going to see it in camera. And so there. So this is probably a good place to start. So let's record our scene from back here. So now, Indy walks into frame. We're going to assume he stops. Looks up at the mountain. Maybe has a little look around. And then just keeps going. And then I can kind of walk down the hill. And I'll just keep walking until I know I'm out of shot. Because I'm going to remember, I'm going to have other characters follow him. So that's why I'm recording this scene into the full distance. That's probably pretty good. So I'm going to stop recording from there. And then now, again, let's make sure our composition looks good. Whatever. Admin orb myself around here. And let's look. And so if this is our shot, let's see if Indy walks into shot right. So he kind of does. So here's where we're framing it. And so here's his look around, right? So now, okay, so now, assuming we're framing it from here, does Indy walk into frame correctly? Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, he walks through me, so maybe I want to kind of move myself over a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And so, yeah, so I'm basically just a little bit to the left of this yellow thing, and I'll find this shot again. This won't be hard at all. But yeah, so that's pretty good. So that's our first FilmBot character. So let's go ahead. So now, who follows him? Is it just one of the guys? So he's walking. He takes a look around. Again, this is... So then somebody else walks into frame. Two guys walk into frame. Yeah, so it's the two helper guys. Then Satipo, which again, I'm never going to get these names right. And then Barakna, and he turns around and says, come on, to another guy. who has a mule. So I've not written my scene to have the mule, so I don't care about that. I guess I could have somebody riding a horse. I could have a third guy riding a horse. Yeah, you know what? We could add that. We'll see what that looks like. So let's create our scene then. So our two guys, right? So I was thinking, so this is just going to be, I was going to use Jedi robes, right? Specifically, I was going to use Palpatine's robes, because if I use Palpatine's robes and turn them into just like regular clothes, you know, I can get away with kind of getting them to look like whatever I want. And so these guys are also Perunian, or whatever the name is. And so we're going to just give them a default face, because they don't have a specific face. I guess I could even go as far as to pull, I think this is Anakin's face. Yeah, they can just be a guy. Or maybe that might be Owen's face. I don't know. But and then I also want them to have a backpack on. So this is, and then I think I want one of them to have a hat. A brown hat. No, that looks weird. Maybe a tan hat, like that looks like he's wearing snow costume. How about a white hat? Yeah, it's pretty good. So this is our little. So I'm gonna set that as 4, because I think that's. Yeah. So we got Satipo, Barakana or whatever, and just a little helper guy. And so the helper guys are gonna just kind of be our default. Gotta turn the indie hat off. Our helper guys are just gonna kind of be the default. And so one of these guys is gonna. Okay, so let's pull him back from the bridge. So now, again, let me look at my source material one more time. So I have the two of them walking into frame together. So I'm going to have two guys walk into frame together. So we're going to have that happen. So let's add another character. So I'm going to do the guy on the left. So Indy walks in, and that's when he kind of stops, and he starts to take a look around, and that's when these fellows come in, and they sort of follow him. And I realize that I might have messed my timing up there. So let's try that again, because they have to come in right when Indy starts walking, because otherwise there's not a lot of space. So let's delete that scene 2, and let's try again. So let's watch here. So Indy walks in, kind of stops, he kind of takes it in, he looks around a little bit, and at about 10 seconds, that's when these guys are going to come in. So now they're coming in together, so this is the guy on the left, and he's just going to follow Indy. And they're going to go down the hill just like he did. And now I know they're all out of frame at this point, so that should be good. So that's our first non-Indiana Jones film bot. So let's pull out another one. Whoops. Oh yeah, he's not going to be wearing the hat. I forgot about that because of the way I did the film bots. That sucks. Oh well. It's not the end of the world that he's not wearing a hat. Alright, so this guy's going to come in. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to come in on the right here. So with this guy. So we're coming in, and he's beating me. But that's okay. So we're going, and okay. That should be good. So there's our third scene filmed. So then we have Satipo follow. So he was 3. We're going to put his hair on. Satipo. Yep. There we go. And so he's going to kind of stand back here in the back. So Control F. This is going to get a really crowded platform here, but... So after these guys go... And so remember, Satipo turns around as well. So we're going to have him stop and turn around once these two go. So once they're coming in, so they're coming in, and then Satipo comes in, and he stops, and he kind of turns. And he's like, whatever, and then he keeps going. So we're going to wait for him to be out of frame. And yeah, that should be good enough. Alright. Then we get Barakna, whatever the fuck his name is. And he is following Satipo. And I am realizing I'm going to need a bigger bridge. So let's just add some bridge to this bridge. There. Alright, because I'm also going to need a horse. Come to think of it. We'll see what that looks like. We might not use the horse. But anyway. So let's record this scene. So we wait. So Satipo. So Indy walks in. I love that we're all just on this like platform. This is Machinima making. This is, I mean, if we were all players, we'd all just be waiting, you know. So they walk in, they come in. Satipo comes in, he turns, and then I get to come in, and I get to like physically turn around and be like, "Come on with your horse." And then I'm walking down. This is a really involved scene. This is more involved than anything I did in Block Wars, which is cool. I like that I get to show stuff like this, because this really shows the process. So now, lastly, we switch back to one of our little helper guys, which, again, he's not going to be wearing the hat, so I might as well take it off so I don't think about it. And this guy, so because he's a bot that needs to ride the horse, I'm going to record the scene from back here and get him on the horse now. I'm going to have to reset the horse so that the horse is following. Alright, there goes our group. There goes Satipo. He kind of turns, he looks. He walks. This guy comes. And he says, "Hey, come on with the horse." And so then I go, "Oh, okay, here I am. Kalop, 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 kalop. I'm coming with my horse." Woo! Okay. So yeah, so let's go reset everything. And that should be our whole scene. Our opening scene. And that's already our opening scene. But let's go reset our horse so that he's actually there and make sure that the bot gets on him correctly and rides correctly. Because sometimes he doesn't. So we're going to, before we even film, we're going to do a test run and make sure everybody gets on. Do you get on the horse? Yeah, you do, but you turn the wrong way. Why do you turn? No! He's going to go the wrong way. Okay, hang on. We can fix this, actually. If I turn the horse... If I turn the horse around, I think that if he still jumps on it correctly, I think that'll fix the little directional problem we have. So let's make sure that works. So go ahead, get on the horse. Whoa, why does he still turn that way? Ah, nuts. That's no good. Alright, we're going to have to do that again. Let's see why. Can you not lick me? Can you not lick me? Please don't lick me. Please don't lick me. Just don't lick me. Yeah, I don't want you to lick me. So this is the one time where it's like, little things like this, it's like, ah, shoot. You know, it makes more sense to record with regular players. But let's go ahead and delete scene 6 then. And let's re-record this scene, right? So we want him to jump on our horse. And I want to make sure that he is going in this direction. Stop licking me. Let's see if that... Let's see if that... Just make sure that that actually, like, plays. And it doesn't... No. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Alright, so whatever I did, that worked. So we're just going to have to make sure that we are facing the correct direction. So let's delete scene 6 again, and let's start recording. So let's get him on the horse. So we're assuming he goes this way. We want to make sure he's this way. So now it should be right. He's like, "Come on, get your horse out here." And I'm like, "Okay, here comes my horse." Whee! Because the horse moves faster anyway, so I moved out of his way. And yeah, that should be good. So let's go reset our horse. Make sure that the bot's facing the right way this time. Move my guy over here. Yeah, film bots aren't perfect with vehicles. And sometimes they do get, like, messed up like that. So let's make sure he actually gets on the horse right. Perfect! Alrighty. Okay, we've got it. So now we can reset our horse. And we know that he's going to be facing the right way. Alright, so cool. I can put my, my blockhead over here somewhere. And now we can reset that shot. So let's find our shot. We can play through it. Well, yeah, I guess we can't really play through it because then we'll ruin our horse, won't we? So where did I say I was before? I knew I was about here. I'm looking up at about that. So I'm going to assume... Alright, come on, Indy. Okay. Horse hasn't moved. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to assume then that I need to be about here. So let's assume... Let's hope that this is the shot, right? So let's go ahead. So we're going to open up this OBS. We're going to start recording. And then we're going to play our film bots through. And if I did this right... Nope, I did not. Okay, hold on. That's okay. Oh, I also want the Newtonian camera on because I do want to be able to kind of... you know what I'm trying to say. I want to be able to move my camera. Is the horse still good? I think he's still good. Let's double check. Does he get on the horse? Yes. Right? Oh, no, he's not getting on the horse. Okay. So, I need like a horse reset button. This is where another time where having another player would be useful. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Let's... Okay, so we're trying to use this marker, right? So I think this is where we want to be. And the Newtonian camera's on. I know I'm recording this whole time, so let's not be recording because we don't need any of that. All right, let's try now. All right, my hand's on the mouse. So Indy comes in. That's not bad, but I need to be like here. Did the horse reset again? I think it did. All right, hold on. When we get this right, though, it's going to be so good. So, alright, so I use this as my marker, and I moved a little bit to the left, and I think this will probably do it. So let's record from here, and let's see if that... Hand on the mouse. Nope, still wrong. Alright, so I really do need to, like, actually mark my shot clearly. Or I'm going to mess this up and have to keep resetting the horse every time. Or... I could try to get it right. You know what? Here's something I can try. No, that won't work. Hold on. Never mind. I think I'm just going to have to find... I'm just going to have to guess and get it right, I think. What... You know what I can do? Here's what I can do. I need to mark Indiana Jones. Yeah. Where does Indy stop? So he stops right here. And so what am I... Okay, so I'm just assume... So here we go. So that's what we want. I want to be on this stud looking up at the mountain. And I think that will get where we want it to go. So let's go ahead and move myself somewhere else. And so I was about right here. Looking down at this stud. And that was just about in the center, and I was looking up at the mountain. Okay, same thing we've been recording. We need to not be. Okay. Play. So now I think I got it. I hope I got it. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. And Indy looks up and looks around. And then my characters come through. And then when Satipul comes in, I kind of want to pan down to him. Pan back up. Hey, come on! And then I kind of pan over to the horse. That wasn't a bad take. That wasn't a bad take. But the only thing I didn't like was how high I was looking at Indy. Let me reset the horse one more time and get another take. That didn't look too bad. We are getting a shot that I like, and that's what's important. That looks pretty good. So, okay, so now, knowing what we know, that we need to be about here, at about this distance, And I don't want to look up as high because Indy was just a little too out of frame. So I'm going to try this shot. And I think that will get what I want. Because we kind of look up at Indy. And then we kind of pan back down. And then the guys come through. And then Satipo. Maybe I'll pan a little to the right to imply what he's looking at. Kind of pan back over. And then Barakna walks in. He says, hey, come on, bring your horse. And I kind of want to pan over here to see the horse as they go. And then that's where it's going to cut. So that's actually perfect. That looks really good. Okay, so now, as we keep going, let's keep going. So we've got our shot, because we're going to, you know, we're going to use these. So you see, that's what I mean. There's a little bit of the panning. There's a little bit of all that. I do want to try one more thing, too, while we're at it. Because that was kind of I wasn't using any focal difference. FOV, which is, you know, when you actually zoom in. Something that I have learned is that using... because, like, how, you know, to try to mimic how cameras work, a shorter focal distance by zooming in gives you more of a... filmic quality, so to speak. It kind of really like... So I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. And maybe... Well, no, because then Indy won't be in the frame as much as I want. See how the... Because obviously the things in the distance... You know, I mean, you know how focal lengths work. Maybe I don't. You know what? No. I don't want to necessarily fuck with that. Because I kind of really like how that shot turned out. So let's... Okay, let's keep going with this then. I like this. How are we doing on the stream, by the way? Are you guys still here? I just realized my OBS was kind of frozen, so hopefully you're all still here. But anyway, okay, so I kind of like that shot, so we can reset from there. And because I can always do this again, I can always recreate. Okay, so then we got a shot where they're all walking through the jungle, right? Okay, so let's set that up. So let's go ahead and let's delete all of our scenes because we got a shot that we liked. And even just to be positively sure it's there. I'm gonna pull all these out, put them in the footage folder. Let's look at that last shot just to be sure. Let's look at our dailies. Oh, hey, I didn't know that we were gonna do that, but yeah, okay, yeah. So that looks right. And then we can, of course, we can. Yep. Okay, cool. That looks good. Go ahead and install it because we're gonna close that anyway. Yeah, go ahead and do that while I'm watching. Okay, so we want to walk through the jungle. Alright, just whatever. Worry about this later. Alright, hold on. So we got a wide of the jungle, then we got another cut of the jungle. Which, again, we don't have to recreate all of this one-to-one, because this is just assuming that, like, this is what Steven got on the day, you know, and he was just getting a bunch of shots, and he knew that he was going to use these for his opening credit shot. So it's like, we don't have to recreate all of this. The opening shot is important, because that is an iconic shot of Indiana Jones walking into frame, looking at the mountain. So now, what I want to do is I do want to kind of have these guys... Okay, because they leave the horse. So I'm gonna have them leave their horse, I guess. We can do that. I do want to do this shot. I have this shot where, not that the guy finds the thing with the bats come out, but I do have a shot where he finds a poison dart. I do have Indiana Jones holding a map. I just realized I do need to give a map prop. So we'll do that. We're doing principal photography, so to speak. I'm going to do a lot of insert stuff later where I have, like, I'm going to actually make that map prop. Because I have a gag where he holds up the map, realizes that he's holding it the wrong way, turns it upside down. I'm going to have to animate the map prop, I guess. So I'm going to have to figure out how that's going to work. I don't know how I want to do that. If I even necessarily need that shot. That's a joke that I have in there, but it works. So we'll see. But anyway, so what are we doing here? So... Now we want them trekking through the jungle. So let's find a good place to trek, because we deleted a lot of our trees, our initial trees. But now we get the added benefit of, like, we can kind of move around wherever we want, because nobody quite knows what the space that we have set up is. We can even, you know what? Down here could even be, this could be our shot. Because I want to be able to, I want to actually be able to track with them. So like something like maybe right here. I don't know, it has to be flat. So let's, alright, well yeah, we can kind of play around with it. So let's see, we can kind of assume that maybe we're going to be down here. So let's set ourselves back up to Indiana Jones. Put him hat back on. So real quick, where are we with the... So now he's not in shadow quite as much. And I don't want that. I want him to remain in shadow, because that is the whole point, is that the reveal is that later on we pull him out of the shadow. So now I am going to probably... Oh, no, I want the elevation one. I want this. Yeah, I want to put Indy in more shadow. I think I might even want to darken... Ooh, yeah, there we go. So I don't want it to be a 100% black, but I do... Yeah, there we go. That is, like, pretty... Whoa! That doesn't look quite right, though, does it? There we go. Yeah, that's pretty much... So he's still in shadow. And obviously, again, we, the audience, know this is Indiana Jones because this is a 40, 50-year-old movie. I'm not making a reveal the way that the movie was doing. But we are getting the essence of what I want here. Alright, so I'm going to start by recording. And he's going to walk through. He's going to walk over this plant. And can I make this? No, I have to jump. So we're just going to have him jump through it. And yeah, once he's probably out of frame. So let's see, how hard is it to follow and track that shot? Because where does he start? Down here? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, yeah, because at that speed, that's pretty good. Alright, so let's remember our order. So then it was our one of our helper guys who... Oh, I guess I can save his hat off. Alright, where did we start? Down here. Okay. So we're going to start recording another scene. We're just going to have a guy follow him. He's also going to go over the flower. He's going to clear. Again, we're just trying to make these look like players. And we can even track a little bit as they're jumping. Okay, and then there's another helper guy. So let's find where that scene starts. Okay, then it's Satipo follows after, so we're going to change to him, get his hair out, find where our start is. Yeah, right here is pretty good. Start recording. So I'm having an idea as we're recording this. I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? A gag could just be that Barachna just like... What if he just shoots the horse? Instead of tying it up, what if he just kind of looks at the horse and just kind of... just blows him away? I don't know. That could be funny. I just had that thought. We'll worry about that as we go. But let's get him in the shot too, because he's next. He's following behind. Barachna, B-A-R-R, boom. Alright, record. And then also I'm thinking, because in my parody, if he does just shoot the fucking horse, that could just be like why Indy later shoots him, or whatever, whips him, makes him run away, you know, is because, oh, he's just a bad dude. You know, like, I don't know, and we can play around with that. And then there's the guy with the horse. So let's just spawn another horse somewhere. So this is going to be hard, I just realized. Oh, well, I guess it's not going to be hard, is it? Because I have enough time to pull into the shot. Well, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, the horse isn't even necessarily... Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a... Wow, I don't have a wrench. What the hell? When did I throw my wrench away? I do not remember doing that. Alright, where were we shooting? Down here. Here we go. I know there were... I know I could have... Well, no, I guess I couldn't have gotten a wrench, could I have? Because I have to wrench to wrench. Anyway, you get the idea. Alright, let's be a helper again. Alrighty. I just hope that I have enough time. Whoa. To get into frame. Alright, that's maybe good. I'm going to probably redo that. I can already feel it. Because let's see if he even goes the right direction, right? Ah, okay, cool. Ah, but he doesn't... Yep, okay, he does. But he is not following the group properly. Wait, whoa. How did he get it? How did he get the horse? Oh, because I got off. Because when I deleted my bot, he, Alright, hold on. Let's delete scene 6. And, let's do that scene again. So we just have to be cute with the horse. The horse can make this jump. Alright, good enough. That'll work. So now, let's make sure that this scene actually plays the way it should. Okay, good. Alright. Okay, so that scene works. Alright, so now... Whew, this is gonna get maybe a little complex here, isn't it? Because we're gonna have to keep resetting the horse. It's the only thing I don't like about this. Alright, well, let's see if we can't record our first... For blocking. Okay, for blocking reasons... I don't think I have to reset the horse for that. Yeah, okay, so for blocking reasons, I want to start here. I want to pull back a little bit. Because I want to be zoomed in just a little bit. And I think I can... Yeah, that should be good. So let's start from here. Let's start recording. Oh, not that one. This one. Start recording. Okay. Okay, we didn't even see the horse, did we? So that kind of defeated that purpose. And I didn't have Newtonian camera turned on either, so I didn't... But that's okay. We can get multiple angles of this, because we're going to want to probably get multiple angles of this. Let me turn Newtonian camera on, too. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's get this shot up again, because I want to be able to... Oh, okay, hang on. Stop recording. Start recording. There we go. Because I wanted to kind of be able to pan. Alright, let's play our scene. There we go. Okay, that wasn't bad. Let's get another angle. So from about here, and this time I'm not going to zoom in, because that makes it's really hard to hold down all those different buttons. Okay. I'm noticing that the horse got stuck too. So that's not necessarily the best. But the horse doesn't have to be perfectly in the shot. So I also didn't like, I don't think I liked how I tracked that shot. I think I want to have another shot. I do want to just follow them, I think is what I want to do. So I do want to kind of zoom in. There we go. Because we can use this too. Horsey. Okay. And then, so that we're not completely from the same angle over and over again, let's do one from, oh shoot, I did not need to get on the horse. Did I ruin it? No. Okay. Let's do one last one from this angle. Oh god, where am I? Hold on. Here we go. I want to be from the opposite angle so I can kind of see down at them. So where are they? Okay, they're over there. Alrighty. Let's record that real quick. So obviously we can see Indy's face in this. But this gives us a nice something we can kind of cut through to. And there's our horse. And maybe that's why he shoots the horse. Because he's like, ah, fuck! So this is another thing I like about doing Blockland Machinima, is that you do get to do a lot of... and now 3 people are watching. Wow! You get to do a lot of improvisational stuff, right? So we can actually delete all of our scenes again. Whoops. There we go. 7? What was 7? I don't remember recording a 7th scene, but I guess I did. Alright, turning off. Okay, so I want to have a scene where Bragda shoots the fucking horse. So let's see, where can we scout that out? Where's a good place to shoot the horse? Probably right here in the bright open. Which, again, I know we're like right here, but you can't... Spatially, the audience isn't going to necessarily be able to tell what we're doing. So let's... Okay, so I'm going to give him... Please stop licking my arm, you little furry freak. Alright, let's give him a... What the hell is that gun called? A Luger? I mean, yeah, he could have a Luger, but what does he have in the scene? I know this is stupid. Branagh, Indiana Jones, gun. Like, what gun is he carrying? Because it doesn't need to be exact. I want it to be close. Yeah, Peruvian guide and thief who tried to kill him. Yeah, I know. Does it say what gun he's holding? Well, it says, okay, he pulls his gun. Doesn't say what kind of gun it is. It is, okay, well, we do know, so it's clearly a revolver. So it's just some kind of 1940s revolver. Guns of Indiana Jones, yeah, here we go. So he's not holding a Luger, he's holding a revolver. So I need to remember what frickin', so weapons... Oh, please tell me I installed the World War II weapons. Did I? Oh, yeah, weapon World War II pack. Here we go. Okay, what do we got that's a revolver? I don't know the names of weapons. That's the only problem. World War II revolver. Let's see what would have been the revolver that they would have used. The Webley? Is that what the weapon package, do they call it a Webley? No. Alrighty, I'm gonna have to go through and figure out what all of these are. Oh wait, hold on. I bet you, it's on the forum post that it was made. Blockland World War II weapon pack. And I can just see what the pictures are. And I can just pick whatever one of them looks like a revolver. Here we go. Yes, okay. Which one of you is a revolver, if any? The Beretta is not bad. Not a revolver, but will work. Okay, I guess there was no revolver in this pack. That's fine. Alright, well, okay, so do I have a revolver, I guess, is maybe the question. No, I don't even have a revolver? Well, that's not good. I thought I at least had the revolver installed. And again, I mean, it doesn't have to be accurate. It doesn't have to be perfectly movie accurate. I just want it to be like, I want it to feel close, you know, that's all. Yeah, somebody back in 2012 had suggested to do the Webley automatic revolver. Alright, whatever. Okay, we don't need it to be a revolver. And I'm not going to shut down the game and restart it just so I can go get a revolver. So, okay, so let's see. What do we have? So I guess the Luger will probably work because that's at least a period accurate. But obviously so is the Colt and the Beretta. Let's pull up a Beretta. I think the Beretta's in this pack. Right? Am I spelling Beretta wrong? Beretta. Do I not have this installed? Or is it under its name? Is it the M1? Yeah, there's the Colt. Why isn't the Beretta in here? Alright, fine. The Colt. The Colt will work. Whatever. I wanted accurate World War II weaponry. That'll work. That'll just work. So that'll do what we needed to do. So anyway, so let's pull up Barekna. Put his hat on. Whoops. There. And we got a gun. Alright, so... Oh, you know what? What I should do, I should shoot the horse scene first, actually. So let's switch back to a helper, take the hat back off, and respawn our horse. Send. Or, oops. Respawn. There we go. Okay. So let's start filming scene. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure I'm not holding the wrench. Yep, I was. Alright, film this scene. Jump on the horse. Click, 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 click. Hey, where are we? Oh my god, you shot my horse! I don't know what's going to happen when the horse dies. I'm going to assume I'm going to shoot this guy too, so we're going to see what happens. I forget what happens if you kill the horse. Maybe he'll kill the guy first and then kill the horse. I don't know. I just wanted him to act like this. There. Okay. So now let's respawn our horse. Let's switch costumes. Oops. Actually, we don't want him to have the smiley in this shot, do we? We want him to be angry. So let's go find his... So where's his face? Indy's face. Here we go. So I want him to look a little... I'm going to look angry. Because he's going to shoot the horse. Alright, make sure I have my gun. Okay, perfect. Where did we go down? I guess I'll just have him follow it. So let's control... Here we go. Alright, so go ahead and get on. Go the right way. Alright, so we're going... And it's like we're walking... And then he's like, you know what? Fuck you! Wow, this is taking long to kill the fucking horse! Keep going. Alright. Okay. Now, the question is, will that scene play as... We don't know. Let's find where they're gonna go, I guess. Let's block this scene. Alright, he gets on the horse. Brockna starts walking with him. And then this is where... See, the horse gets ahead of him, right? And so he's kind of like, oh no, bam, 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 bam. This isn't doing anything. It's not even killing the film bot. It killed it when I did it. Maybe I'll have to assist. Alright, well here's where our shot is. So it's this, so these flowers. So let's remember these flowers as a marker. So these 3 flowers. So this is where our shot is. So we can kind of cheat. We can kill the horse in different ways. But let's get our shot kind of set up here. And let's go ahead and start recording. So this is our first, like, deviation into some Blocklandy type antics where he just unloads on this fucking horse for no reason other than the fact. Okay. I hate having to reset the horse every time. I don't even know if this is gonna work and be as funny as I want it to be. I think I want this angle, actually. Start a new recording. I'm just gonna follow them. Alright, that's good. Let's reset the horse again. Alright, so let's get the angle from behind the horse. New recording. Trying to get a close-up of this too, I think. Here we go. Hey! He backs up. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, good. Alright, so now we're gonna have to cheat a little bit. We're gonna have to kill this fucking horse somehow, because he didn't die. He didn't exactly die the way I thought he was gonna die. Can you not? You're always licking me. I don't get what the licking's for. What's that about? You don't do that every day. You're doing it right now. It's weird. Yeah, stop! Okay. Alright, how are we gonna kill this horse? Because I was thinking, like... I guess... Oh, you know what? I have an idea, actually. This might work. This might even work better than what we've been doing. I might scrap the horse, because I just thought of something. Because the film bots will let you just do the data block, right? So why not, instead of making the horse be a fucking actual thing that you do, why don't I just change myself into a horse and record myself as the film bot, and then I can just control K when I need to die. So let's do that. I don't know why I didn't think of this from the first place. There, I'm a horse. I'm wearing the hat. There, I'm a horse without the hat. And I need to be a white horse. So there. So now I'm a white horse. So let's record this scene again. So now I'm just gonna kind of walk over, and we're gonna assume that the guy gets on me, and then horse is dead. Poof. Alright. And then obviously film bots end when you kill yourself too, so that will just immediately end that recording. Now, I'll get to be the helper guy. And we're gonna jump on myself. Oh, I take control? Oh no, that's not gonna work. Yeah. That's not gonna work though, hold on. I forgot that me jumping on the horse would mean I would take control of the horse. I thought for sure the bot would still be in control of itself. I don't know why I thought that would be like that. Alright, where was I? Oh boy. Alright, this might not have worked as well as I wanted to do. Oh, and I was holding the fucking hammer. And see, that's what I mean. I missed getting on the horse. So, okay, I'm gonna have to do this again. Hold on. That's okay, though. Alright, so now we know that that's how that's gonna work. So, okay, let's be the white horse that we have to be. Alright, so we're a white horse. So let's start filming, right? So we're gonna presume that then the other version of myself gets on, walks us down to here. We're down here. Then the version of me that's Barakna starts shooting, bum, 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 and at 25 seconds, just to be safe, 25 is when I'm gonna kill myself. 25. So that way I can do it the same way with the other bot. And time that up about right. Blech, I gotta find my spot every time now too. I should create a spawn. I should just create a spawn point. I'm so silly. I'm doing this like the really dumb way. Where was I? I can't even find it now. There we go. Okay, here we go. I am gonna actually create a spawn point because I think that way when I kill myself in the future, when I kill myself, I'll keep spawning here instead of just out there in the ocean. And then I won't have to keep finding this spot. There we go. Okay, that should do that. Alrighty, so I'm a helper, right? Yep, with the right colored shirt, not holding any items. Oh, of course, Horse Me is holding all fucking... God damn it. Alright, hold on. Why? I don't know why. Filmbots goof sometimes where it's like you won't be holding an item. And for some reason... There. Make sure I'm not holding a single item. Alright, record. Give myself enough time to jump on. And then assume that once player me will move us down here till about 10 seconds. And then at 20 seconds, I'm going to kill myself this time. Bang, 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 bang. 20 seconds is now. Death. Yep, cool, that worked. Alright. Set myself the right shape. Make sure I'm not holding anything. Control another one. Okay. We're going to move down to about here. And then at 20 seconds, again, bang, 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 bang. I guess I should kill myself first, so... I think that'll work. I think. Oh, please tell me. Oh my god! Alright, that's okay. Hang on. I'm just gonna delete scene 2. We're gonna do it again. I think that'll do it. I don't know. Walk down. And then at 18, 19, kill myself. Alright. I don't know what that does to the other bot, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh no, I'm holding the hammer! Alright, I'm not holding any items. I'm recording. Oh, I fucked that up. Hold on. I know I fucked that up. No items. Recording. Get on. I moved my mouse just enough so that we should be facing the right direction. And by 10 seconds, we should be down here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Kill myself. I think that will kill me and the bot. Or will that also kill the horse? I don't know. Okay, I'm going the right direction. So that's what's important. I think I'm going to have Barakna already be down here. So I don't have to, like, time him. So now at 20 seconds, the horse and the player... Yep, he dies, and then the horse dies. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Let's change our avatar correctly. Be this guy. We want him to be Angie. Cool. I have my gun. Let me put on my hat. Alrighty. Okay. Filming. So we're... Oh, I shouldn't have the gun out. God dang it! Alright. Filming. Okay, he gets on horse. Cloppity, 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 cloppity. We're assuming that I've been walking this whole time. So I'm going to walk into frame. Pull out my gun. And then look, give myself a few minutes, and then... Put the gun away. Turn around. And then walk. And now with editing, we can kind of shorten some of the pauses that I did in between. But let's see if that scene does what I think it should do now. Let's get my little guy out of there. Okay. We're going to pretend like we're shooting, walked into frame. Boom, he pulls out his gun. Crack, 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 crack. Okay, cool. They both die this time, which is good. Alright, neat. Okay, cool. So now, having done that where the player is a horse, I don't have to keep resetting the horse. I completely forgot I could do that. So I'm glad that I just decided to do that this time. Okay, cool. Let's delete the gun real quick because we don't necessarily want that in the shot. Let's make sure my blockhead is out of the shot completely. Turn Newtonian camera on. Turn the HUD off. And then let's go ahead and start blocking this shot real quick. Okay, so yeah, I do want to be right about here. So let's start recording. So let's play that back. Okay, that's good. I am going to keep recording the whole time for this one. So this is me doing now. This is shot, reverse shot. So this is getting angles from each different performance. It's the same performance, obviously. Okay, let's play that back again. Kind of want to follow the horse down. Okay, hold on. I know. And then now I want a nice close-up of Barakna pulling the gun. Baranak. I still am probably saying his name wrong, but... Oops. Do it. Crack, 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 crack. Cool. I want a close, or no, actually, I want a wide shot of the horse dying, I think. Blam, 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 blam. He's gonna keep shooting. Poof, poof, they disappear. Alright, and then now we want one more shot of him after they die. kind of walking away. Oh, there's my other blockhead, so... Blam, 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 blam. Oh, the horse is dead. Poof. Perfect, and that's where he stops. All right, so we're gonna stop recording. So okay, so we've recorded a fair bit of some stuff right now. So let's go ahead and import some of this stuff into our editor. I have to make sure I'm getting the right things out of here because I don't want to take anything from episode 3 that I don't need. All right, so I know I need this shot, and I'm gonna need all of these. So let's go into footage, scene 1. Let's pull all of this stuff in. Oops. Pull that in there. Let Adobe do its thing and import. Alrighty, so pull that in. Where does the shot start here? Okay, so this is our starting shot. So here's what we got. So we want to. So this is our. We're gonna put the titles over this. So we can actually just play through this as is, because that's the whole shot. He looks around, and he kind of says, okay, let's keep going. So maybe about there is where I'm probably going to cut. And then I've got, where's the good shot we got of them walking? Oh, did I not pull that in? We recorded that, right? Hold on. Did I not record? Didn't I record the... Did we not do that? Did I legitimately forget? Oh, man. How did I forget? I don't... Oh, that's upsetting. I could have swore we did that. Did we not record them? I guess I just did the film bots and I didn't bother to actually do the thing. Okay, that sucks. We got to get that shot real quick then. We got to recreate that shot. Okay. That's okay. Let's delete our scenes here. Let's start it over. I don't know how the hell I did that. Oh well, okay. You know, we live, we learn. Alright. Alright, where did we decide that they were going to be? Probably here. This was good, yeah, because this is nice and flat. So let's just record, because we're going to track them. Maybe, you know, that's so weird. I remember, I could have swore I remember recording, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Because this is the thing. We don't have to bring the horse in, thankfully. Because we're going to use him in another shot. So, because now that we've added the horse death scene. Okay. So he's being followed by a couple of the helper guys. Just kind of recreating my steps here. Alright, then he's followed by another helper guy. Can't see shit. But whatever, it has to. We just have to walk through the thing, and then Satipo. And so I'm not even gonna. So this actually does give us a better kind of lead into why he kills the horse. Because now I can kind of add some stuff. Because I'm actually thinking as I go, I'm like, I could go back. I could add a scene where we maybe add some dialogue or something. Maybe the horse does something. I don't know. I can do these insert shots later as I need them. So let's go ahead and do this scene. So yeah, this is them going through the jungle. I swore I recorded this. But I guess I didn't. I know I did. I remember us doing these film bots. All right, there we go. That's good enough. But God only knows why the footage isn't where I thought it would be. Was I just not recording? Was I really? Because remember when I had to, like, I was doing the track? I swear to God. I swear to God I did it, but I guess I didn't. Unless it's in here and I just don't see it. But no, that's all horse. Yeah, that's all him killing the horse, right? Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I just didn't look at my footage the way I thought I did. Okay, we're actually in the clear. Maybe we don't have to. But let's see how this looks, because now that I have that film bot set up again, maybe I can look through it. Oh, I recorded it all as one big thing. That's why I was having trouble finding it. Okay, here we go. So let's just start where I actually start. So this is, we're cutting to that. And then we cut to in the jungle. And they're kind of moving. And then I think that's a pretty good shot to end it on. And then I restarted the horse. Okay, I knew I wasn't fucking crazy. I think right here is a pretty good place to cut. Let's see how the let's feel how the let's feel how it feels. Oh, okay, hold on. I saw a little jitter that I didn't like. So where's the jitter? Or was that just the editor not playing? Nope, right there. Yep, that was where the jitter. So let's get rid of the jitter. So start from there. Okay, actually, I think we can, yeah, shorten that up a bit. Okay, I like that because then they're all kind of jumping. So let's shorten that up a bit. And then where did I... Oh, I like this a lot. Actually like this a lot more. Maybe even leading into the opening shot that we have. Because it's the same angle. But where's the one where I got... Didn't I get one from the other angle? Could have swore I did. Okay, hold on. Is it from here? Yep, there it is. Okay, I knew I recorded these things. I just couldn't tell from the footage. All right, cool. I knew I wasn't freaking crazy. All right, I don't have to actually re-record this. So we're going to start from about here so we don't really see Indy. So here's what I'm kind of thinking. We can kind of cut a little bit of that in. So here's what I'm thinking. So we cut from that shot. They're walking. You know, the John Williams is happening. Alright, that's pretty good. And then... Actually, let's not have them jump because we already saw them jump. And then, yeah, here we go. Then we can go back to this shot. So here we go. So it's like we're kind of tricking the audience into thinking that we're going distances. When it's like, that's all the same. That's all the same film bots adding up to doing the same thing. And now, let's pull our... I think now here's the start of our horse footage. Crack, 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 crack. Yes, because that's the... Oh, and we are recording the sound. Good, so I don't have to add the gunshot sound effects. Let's pull... Where's the good stuff? Here we go. This is all the right. So we're going to do some movie magic. And we're going to edit around all of this stuff. So I kind of want... Where's it? Do we have a good... Yeah, okay. I want to start from here. So let's drag out our timeline a little bit. Let's move this over a little bit. Kind of want to start from this shot. I like it starting from us moving. So let's... Because then we kind of see him walking. And yeah, you can see horse. You can see that the horse is back there. And the Barakna... Here we go. Yeah, this is good. And so they kind of stop. And he turns. And then, did we get a good shot? Cool. All right, I think we got a good close-up from this one. No, you know what? I don't even want to use that angle. I don't like that angle. That angle's gross. We got more of him actually killing the horse, right? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, yeah. Woo, Adobe, why are you doing this to me? There we go. Oh, why are you being so slow, Adobe? Let's save our project right now, just in case this crashes. Oh, Adobe. Oh, Adobe. I know it's because I'm streaming on OBS. But you shouldn't be doing this to me. Hold on. We're still streaming, right? Yeah. We should be good. There we go. Okay. Okay, hang on. We don't need to get that turn twice. We'll get it from right there. So it's... Huh? Bang, 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 bang. Okay, cool. Let's cut into... Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, there we go. Cut into that. Because here I have this idea where we're going to kind of mix the two of these shots together. Just put them on top for a second. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, that was me zooming out. Yep. So that's where we are done with that shot. How much more did I record? Oh, I do. I have another shot, a close-up. Okay, cool. Let's pull that. Oh, I love that frame. Ah. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I was like, and then this is him putting the gun away. I don't think we even need that frame. Let's see where we're at here. It's like, come on. Maybe we could even, you know what? Maybe we can even add a line right here where he says something like, come on, you stupid fucking horse, or something. And then maybe we'll add right in here before he kills it. Maybe I'll add a scene where, I don't know, where the horse does something. Or I don't know, we can even add a line right here, like I said, where he just says, like, maybe this is where we add the gag as to why he's annoyed with the horse, and he tells it, and then he kills it. I don't know. I'm figuring it out as we go. Crack, 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 crack. Dead. Keeps going. Okay. And then that's where we're gonna end that shot. Okay, let's save it. So now, let's watch our whole thing from the beginning, just to see what we've got. So Indy walks into frame. So this is where, so here's the thing. So I've got that shot, like I said, I have in the script where, real quick, I know I was gonna watch it, but I have it in the shot where it says he stops, he realizes the map is upside down, grimaces, turns the map back around, pretending they're still going the correct direction. The joke being, you know, that he looks and he goes, you know, they keep going. But I don't know if I can necessarily convey that in Blockland, like with the actual, without, I don't know, I'll see. I'll see how we get to do that. But let's look at our whole thing for a second. You know what? Also, while we're here, before I forget, where did I put that? Is it in here? Oh, it is in here. Yep. Logo. Logo final render. I am going to put this in, not scene ones, just in the regular folder. I'm going to put that just in there. In fact, oh no, that can go in titles. That can go in titles because that's the logo. I do think that I want the logo, and I know we're gonna. That doesn't look right. So maybe we should have that fade. Maybe a big cross fade would look good. Put a film dissolve in there. We'll mess with that. Maybe I don't want that logo per se. But I want there to be the logo. Because I have the Blockland, I have the new Blockland Classics, and I'd like to get to like play with. But that doesn't really work because it's no longer the hill. So we'll have to figure out, I'll have to figure something else out there, but again, this is where we're working, this is our rough. This is a really rough edit here, so. And obviously imagine you're seeing credits on top of the screen here. And I'll probably do some credits. I might make some credits up just to make it like fit having a number of credits. But so here we are, we're going through the woods. Bum bum bum. So this is already looking really great. Because this is, I mean, yeah, it gives you the idea that these guys are all traveling. And then we cut to, I don't want the horse. Maybe I'll even add a line there. It's like, you stepped on my horse foot. Or, you know what I mean. Or you stepped on my horse foot. You stepped on my shoe or something. And he just, like, he kills the two. And it goes on for far too long. For no good reason. And he just keeps going. Okay, cool. So we're getting places. All right, I am going to save this environment file. And we're going to call this idle alt. Because we do... Come on, Blockland. Don't you also be too slow. Here we go. Because we might use this again. Yeah, we'll call it idle temple alt. Because we might use this again. So there, now we got idle temple 2, and idle temple alt. Because I might, like I said, I might come back to this. I might add some shots. I might add some inserts of some stuff, some pickup stuff to expand on that joke, to make it make more sense why he kills the horse. Whatever. Okay, oh, and also I guess I should probably save these bricks too as idle temple alt as well, because I cleared out all of the trees and everything. So, okay. So now what are we doing? So let's look at the script here. So like I said, I got the map scene. I'm going to worry about that later because I'm going to, if I do it, I'm going to model the map as a, oh, I forgot it won't, yeah. I'm going to model the map as a thing that he can open and flip. And I might even make that be where I hide the nodes of his hands and I make a whole hand item so that I can really just control that and have him like kind of maybe unfold the map, look at it, and go, and then turn it. And like I can have his like arms like do this, like if he was turning a wheel, and the whole map will rotate and he'll go, oh, you know, or whatever. So we can worry about that later. And we might do that. I don't know if I have time to do the animation though, that's the thing. I can model the map today. We might do that. But anyway. One of the men pauses as he sees an arrow embedded in the tree. He takes it out and licks it and immediately comically dies of poison. So how do we want to do that? Because, I mean, we could do an arrow in the tree, right? Does the arrows... Oh, no, I don't have a... But, remember, I put a thing, yeah. Okay, so I don't have a hammer, but that's okay. If I give myself a bow and arrow, can I shoot an arrow into the tree? I don't remember. Well, yeah, I guess I can, can't I? But I forget how long. Yeah, those don't stay very long. So I want them to be an item that he can pick out and lick. So how are we gonna do this? Well, okay, so do we have... I might have to leave Blockland a little bit, but that's okay. Because I do have an idea. First of all, do we have the arrow as an item? No. Alright, we are going to have to leave Blockland. That's okay. Because we're going to have to extract that weapon, bow. Because, yeah, the arrow DTS, we're going to have to extract that ourselves and pull that out and make it an item that someone can hold. And I don't know, how am I going to have him lick it? That's the thing. This is all like, am I adding too much that a blockhead can't necessarily do? This is where it's like, is this a gag that's worth keeping? You know, this is the kind of stuff that you run into making Blockland Machinima, is you write something and then you think to yourself like, okay, but can I do that? Can I actually do it the way I think I have to? Or rather I should say, you know, can I do it in the way that I think is possible? So let me think. So do I have any items that... No, because I will have to make the hand specific. Okay, alright, we can do this, though. We can... So, okay, I guess maybe we can do the... Let's do the map and the thing. Because the thing I specifically am not going to be able to do today is the whip. Because the whip is going to require a whole mess of animation and stuff that I just... is going to require a lot more than I think I can do on stream. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a hand, at least. Base, data, shapes, player. Boom. Alright, hand. Which hand? The right hand, right? Because that's the hand that your character holds stuff in. So hide, delete everything that's not that, bring it back. Cool. Let's apply that rotation. Neat. Alright, now let's import another DTS. Weapon, bow. Let's copy. Go into Raiders folder. Brain just did not want to see it. Alright, models. We're going to create a new folder here. We're going to call it lick arrow. Or sorry, prop arrow. Because we're going to need two arrows, right? We're going to need one that we can embed into the thing so that he can actually like pick it out. And we're going to need one where he can actually lick it and then die. And I think I can do that by just making his hand, when he pulls out the item, it'll hide that hand node, and it'll just be the item, and it'll animate like that, and then I'll have the character die, and then I should be able to time it all together. But anyway, so let's put the arrow DTS in there. Let's go back to models. Oops. There we go. Prop arrow, import. Oh, okay. Get rid of that. Yeah, okay. So that's... yeah. So we can get rid of all the extra shit that we don't need. Wow, there's a lot. Okay. Cool. And then we need to get the right color. Because I like how the arrow is just brown, but like what... brown blank. What did Bad Spot use to make these colors? Oh, or is it in here? Yep, brown blank. Okay. And then what did he call that other one? Black 50? Black 50 number 2. Okay. So we're going to take brown blank and black 50. Copy those. Put them in here. And we are going to rename these too. We're going to call that... we're just going to call that brown. And we're just going to call that white. That should be... Oops. Oh, no, that made it black. So which one did he actually use? What in the hell? Blank? Blank. Got it. Okay. Because it says black 50 number 2, but it's actually blank. We're just going to call that white so that we have the right color. And then, okay, and then what we also need to do is I need to open up an image editor. I'm going to use Photopia. And, oh, look at that. Cool that that's still there. I was making the all of the textures for the biplane for that scene. Okay, anyway, so we're going to open up the player colors, wherever that is. Here we go. Clothes palette. We're going to take the hand color that we're going to use for that guy. We're going to create a new 16 by 16. And we're just going to export that as skin, because we're going to use it as skin. Let's take it out of the downloads folder and put it into our prop arrow. There we go. Skin, arrow, perfect. And we can, well, not yet. We don't have to do that yet. So let's take away all of your textures and your textures. Oh, wait. No, hold on. Because I want to make sure that the right... Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Add a new texture. We'll call it white. We will assign. And then now we can take away that. And then... we should be able to take away that. And then... I guess... Well, yeah, I guess I just... Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, that's all I needed to do, really. Make a new texture, call it brown. Brown. Open. Brown. And then this is great. So this is just has to look like, and then assign. Perfect. Perfect. All right, then white, same thing. White, open. White, open. Shadeless. Yeah, okay. Shadeless there. Select, yep. Select, yep. Okay, cool. So that's all right. And then call this skin. Skin, open. Skin, shadeless. Boom. Okay. Alrighty. Now let's rotate everything. Whoa, hold on. I thought I got rid of that. Okay, now it is for sure. Nice. Okay, there we go. So that's our poison arrow, right? So we wanna, I wanna create a new empty. Just call this base. And I'm going to animate the empty, yeah. Because I think I'm doing this, because if I'm not mistaken, the way that the hand works is the mount of the hand is in that spot in the center 0, 0 anyway. So if I hide the node of the hand, he should just be holding the arrow. And I think this will hide it correctly, I think. We might have to do a little tinkering with this, but it doesn't, but that's the thing. This is such a, like, it doesn't even have to be perfect. He just has to kind of tip it towards himself so he can lick it and then die. So we don't really have to do too much for this. So let's rename this. Call this lick start, right? All right. So I want to animate this empty. So I just need the rotation. No, I need the location and the rotation. So do I have? Well, I guess yeah. All right. Lock rot scale is fine. And then let's see, so at about 10, I want him to rotate it. Oh, whoops, I forgot to parent all of that to the empty. There, okay, now when I rotate the empty, he's gonna turn it 90 degrees-ish, so he can kind of like taste it, and then back at 20, Alt-R. Oh, that never works, does it? No, I can just put him back. Alt-G will work, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Ah. There. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Alright, pause. Hold on. Let's end the animation at 20, so let's see what the loop looks like. So that works. Obviously, that doesn't give us a lot of time. And also, kind of come to think of it, he should probably rotate towards his face, too, because otherwise he's just kind of putting it down there. So let's do that as well. So from here, this is why we needed rotation. And location, I mean. Because he's going to want to... There. So now it should look like... Yep. So that's him, like licking it. And then, okay, so let's add some extra time. Say 100. Actually, let's go to a dope sheet here. Oops. Dope sheet down here. So I can actually see his keyframes. And let's, where, why isn't it? I was going to say, that should have been on 0. There we go. Now it's on 0. Let's give ourselves a little bit of time. So let's say at 30. So let's see, how much time is that? And then, yeah, and then at 100, yeah, that gives us time for him to die. So that should work. That should work, in theory. Oops, okay. Meow. Meow. Mm-hmm. Alright. Oops. And then we'll name that one Lick End. There. Okay, I think that will play the animation. Can you stop? Can you stop? You're licking me. What if I was a poison arrow? Then you would die. And I would be sad. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, hold on. Alright, so where are we? Okay, let's see if I can do this correctly. Stop! Please. Yeah, okay, it's really cute when you headbutt me. I think that's very cute. I love you a lot. I can't stand it when you lick me, and you know that. Alright. Stop! We're gonna call this arrow hand, because we're gonna need to make 2. But let's make sure this one works first, right? So let's see if I did this correctly. I'm gonna need this. What does the server.cs do for the weapon bow? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. It's funny that it does that. So I need this, this, and this. I did not mean to cut them. I just needed them to copy. If you lick my hand again, I'm going to be upset. Poison arrow. So holy. It belongs in a museum. That's what I've been typing for everything. Indiana related. So name check. Prop. Poison arrow. Save. Oh, I just called it prop arrow. I guess I'll just, yeah, I'll call this prop arrow. There we go. Prop arrow. Okay. Okay. And then I need to rename this to prop arrow hand, I guess. Yeah. And you know what? I am going to need it like this, aren't I? So let's put that server. We're going to rename, or not, sorry, not rename it. We're going to have you do execute prop arrow hand.cs. Cool. Alright, so now, let me see if I did this right. Because I do just need it to be a thing. Nah, yeah, because I'm thinking about it. This is where I run into a problem when I personally, I'm not super familiar with TorqueScript. So that means, so I need to think about, I need an item that plays the animation upon clicking, right? Do I have something that does that? So, because the way I did it with, oh god, I hate TorqueScript so bad. This is gonna be the bane of my existence. This is, if I can't get this right the first time, I am not gonna waste my time like dilly-dallying on this. We're just gonna keep moving on, and I will shoot these scenes later, because it's already 7 almost, so we only got about an hour 20, so we don't have a whole lot of time, and that's okay. We don't have to do this scene right tonight either. We've gotten a lot done already. That really gives you a good example as to how I like to do stuff, you know? Like, we're already kind of in this point of, like, how I set up film bots, how I set up shots, how I edit, you know, like, you can kind of see how I do the editing onto that even, the choices I make, you know. So, yeah, we're doing alright. We're doing okay. So I might not do this right tonight. So what am I trying to think? So, because when we have it set to right now, when you left click on an item, it should play an animation, but it plays an animation on the player. It doesn't play an animation on the item. Ugh, okay, yeah. The way I did, so here's the thing. The way I did the bongs, for example, when Yoda smokes the bong, the item is just in front of him, and it plays the animation. And I just hid his hand nodes so that it looked like they were just in front of him. And the cool thing was, obviously, is that the character didn't have to move. The problem is, when I kill the guy... Well, alright, hold on. Hold on, let me think here. Maybe I could do it that way. Maybe I could, because here's what I could do, right? So if I did it that way, and I was thinking, okay, but when he's holding the item, I want him to die. I could just have the arrow. I don't have to have the hand, right? It be the actual item that is mounted to the player. I mean, this is the way I would do it if it was a gameplay mechanic, right? But obviously, again, I'm doing things for machinima purposes. They don't have to function. They just have to look right. Here, you want to get down, actually? Kind of being a little annoying. So what I'm thinking is I could make an arrow item, right, that just the player holds and can have. Then I can make the actual one that animates and looks like he licks it. And then I can have him die holding the thing, and I could just, with the power of editing, have him lick, and then we cut to another shot where he goes, bleh, and then dies while he's holding the other item. So that might be how I do it. That's actually how I think I'm going to do it. So let's do that. So let's go ahead real quick. So we have our hand and arrow thing. So that's good. That's our prop. Let's save that. Arrow hand. Save. Okay, now delete all of that. Delete the hand itself. Oh no. It was wrong anyway. Save this as just arrow. Hold. Why not? Yeah, we can call it arrow hold. Stop! 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 Stop licking! If you weren't licking, I wouldn't have a problem. Okay, anyway. Rotation, scale, all of that. And then save it. And then, okay, real quick, let's go back to arrow hand. Make sure this is in the right texture. Oh my goodness. You're adorable, but you are being so bad right now. Okay, save that. Scale, rotation, location, location, rotation, scale. Yeah, that way everything's to the empty. Save that. Re-export the DTS. Cool. Okay, open arrow hold. Same thing. DTS arrow hold. And then I need one more. Rotate on the x-axis. Oop, no, rotate on the y-axis. I think that'll work for what I want. And actually, rotate on the y-axis. Sorry, rotate on the x-axis. Yeah. Scale, location, rotation, rotation. I think that'll work. Because even if I have to flip them around, it's not the end of the world. And just save that as arrow lodge. Because it's lodged into the thing. You know, it's like it's stuck. Actually, I could even call it arrow stuck. But I'm going to call it arrow lodge for now. Why? I saved it as arrow lodge. Shouldn't it export as arrow lodge? Alright, fine. Cool. Alrighty, so let's create all of these things. Alright. So now, we gotta go back into, I don't need that anymore. We gotta go back into the older props, right? So let's go into Block Wars. Let's pull up our pod racing pods. And let's start from here. So just get rid of that. Rename this just arrow hand. I'm not going to even bother with the prop underscore shit. Just going to call that arrow hand. Save it. Okay. So from arrow hand, we want arrow hand.dts arrow in hand. Oh, you know what? Oh, hold on. I don't even want the pod. You know what I actually want? Where's the? Here we go. I want the bong. I want the bong prop. Bong hit Yoda. Here we go. Bong animated. Bong Yoda. I forget which one does it. Bong Yoda. Okay, yeah. This one. I want to make sure this is the script that I'm using and not whatever, because I want to make, because this is the one that actually plays. And passive thread should be lick. And this should be arrow hand. And then arrow hand. Arrow in hand. Okay, yeah. That should, if I did that right, play the correct thing. Now, I also want, they all are going to use the same, but they don't have to be animated, right? So this is, so this one will be arrow hold, I think I called it, right? Yeah, arrow hold. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, yeah, this needs to be different. This is not one of these scripts. This needs to be something you can actually hold up. So, hold on. So I need to go back to Block Wars. And for this one, I need to go into Models, Bong, just the regular Bong, right? Or Prop Bong. Where did I have that one? Oh no. Okay, you know what? I can find it though. I can go into here. It should just be under... I should have two bongs, right? I have two different bongs. Prop bong. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to take the bong item. Arrow hold. And we're going to change all this shit. Data block arrow hold item. arrow hold, icon, arrow hold. I know I don't have one of those, but I don't care. Arrow hold image, tools, weapons, arrow hold. Okay, you can get back in my lap if you must. Just please don't lick me. Please don't lick me. Oh my god, you started immediately licking me. Yeah, arrow hold image. I know, arrow hold. Ugh. Magazine item. Item? Magazine item? Why is it called magazine item? I don't remember. Is that from when I was doing... Yeah, I say that's from when I was doing literally a... Yeah, hold on. That's fine. I think that needs to be changed. I don't think it mattered because I was doing it from when I still had the magazine item that the battle droid is holding that magazine. But yeah, arm ready. Yeah, that should be right. Arrow hold, arrow hold, arrow hold. Okay, yeah. Arrow hold. So that should be right. Then finally, there is arrow lodge, which we are going to use the same script for this one. Arrow lodge. And it's just going to be arrow lodge. Lodge. Arrow lodged. Doesn't even need the passive thread because it's not going to be animated. Which I guess I could theoretically get rid of this package script because it's not necessary. But I don't like to mess with code that Conan gave me and like break something if I don't know what I'm doing. So I try not to mess with it unless I absolutely know. All right, arrow hold and arrow lodge, save. So now if I package all of this into prop arrow.zip, copy it, put it in the old add-ons folder. If I did all of that right, which I don't know if I did, but if I did all of that right, I should have all three of the things I need. I have the arrow, I can stick it into the tree and not have to worry about it not... Oh gosh, I'm so yawning. Not have to worry about it disappearing because I don't have to fire it, continually fire it and make it like happen. And then I should also have the arrow that I should have the animated one with the licking hand, and then I should have him just be able to hold an arrow. So let's go over to props. Make sure if they're not broken, it'll be in here. Prop arrow, cool. I didn't break anything at least. So let's see if I did it right. I probably didn't. I'm probably worried about the animation. Sometimes the animations are where I get tripped up, and I don't know what I've done wrong per se, because I'm pretty sure I named everything right, and I'm pretty sure I exported everything right. So, but even if I don't have the one of him like licking it, I can always find ways around that. I can even just add a sound effect or something, and like I can mime it if I can't get the animation to work perfectly. But the problem is it's like I want to be able to like actually have him lick it. But again, as long as I have the one where he's holding it and the one where I can lodge it into the tree, those are the two that are important. So as long as I did that right, as long as I did the prop right, and it's an actual item, then I'll be okay. Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Yeah. So let's see. So we won't even load anything until we've proven if our add-ons work the way we want them to. So let's see. So item, arrow, stop it. Arrow hold. Perfect, that got right. Okay, cool. So that's good. All right. Arrow in hand. Oh, okay, the animation's playing. The only problem, of course, is now we don't actually see the arrow for whatever reason. And then it's a one-time animation too. I don't even have it. Okay, we'll have to fix the arrow. Okay, so we did that right though. I don't know why the arrow itself isn't showing up, but that's actually cool. and then arrow lodged is just an arrow. Okay, so the only thing we need to figure out then, so the animation worked, and also I want to change it to loop. I do want that to loop. I thought that would loop. Okay, so let's open arrow hand. So why didn't you... See, that's what I mean. It's like, what did I do that I got all of this right, but then the arrow itself didn't show up? What did I do wrong that made that happen? I hate... I hate Torque Script. I hate it. I hate Blockland. I don't. I hate modifying Blockland is the way I want to put it. How did I get everything to work? And even the hand played correctly, but now the fucking arrow doesn't show up. Alright, so honest to God, this is truthfully what I think I'm going to have to do. Because I had this problem. So, okay, so the arrow is actually square. I didn't even realize that. So here's what I'm going to have to legitimately fucking do. And this is okay. I'm okay with this because the arrow is such a simple... such a simple shape. I can just recreate it. Because truthfully, that's what's the problem. Is that, for whatever reason, DTSs just don't sometimes work the way you'd think that they should. And that's okay. Because I know how to fix it. Well, this is weird that the arrow looks the way it does. Okay, yeah, but it's going to be really easy to recreate. Like, legitimately, like, stupid easy. And then when we've done this, you know what? These can even be... This can even be a separate object. It doesn't have to be... How did he do that? Oh, okay, I see it. Might want to actually make a mirror modifier for that. There we go. Okay, hold on. So let's do that. Let's line that up. Okay. Okay. Merge at the center. Right? So I think that's what he's doing. So here's the thing. The Blocko style is fine and all, but it's never been, like, perfect. I'm not, I'm not saying, obviously, of course not. It's not perfect, but there's little, like, weird idiosyncrasies that just don't quite make sense to me as to why they're done the way they're done. All right, I think this is how I have to make this work. Right? And then those are all faces. Oh, okay. I can actually, now that I can actually see what was happening here. Cool. Good enough. Easily good enough. All right. I'm going to delete the actual arrow. And we're going to recalculate outside. Control N? Yeah, Control N. Alright, so you need to be brown and you need to be white. think it's these two faces that are white. And then this just needs to be brown. Join that all to... Oh, wait, hold on. Apply the mirror modifier first. There we go. Join that all together. Bada bing, bada boom. Call it arrow. Parent it to that, and that should apply. Okay. So there. So I've recreated the arrow entirely, and hopefully, because it's not importing from a DTS and something's getting screwy in the exporting process, hopefully when I just export this now, arrow hand will just do it right. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to fix real quick before I go back into the game was arrow hand CS. I think... Where do I have the loop? Isn't there a loop setting? Thought the thread should loop infinitely, but I guess not. I guess not. It doesn't really quite matter, does it? Arrowhand.dts, take it out. Add my new one back in. Everything looks good. Copy it. Replace that file. Boot up Blockland. Please. Blockland gods, please let this work. Second try. If this works, even if it doesn't loop, I don't necessarily have to have it looping. I can always fix. Again, you can fix so much stuff in post. Oops, I should make sure I didn't break it. Hold on. This is always the most nerve-wracking, is when I look through it and go prop arrow. Okay, it's still there. So please let this have just shown up. Because if this shows up and looks right, I won't have to do anything else, and we can keep filming. And we still have another hour. And again, that shows you how I do. And then I can do the map. I can do the map the same way. We can have him pull out the map, and I can do it the same way with the magazine prop. I can have Indy pull out the map, do the two hands, switch to a different angle. Have the hands be animated, like I'm going to do the arrow prop. Have him do the flip that he has to do. Switch back to another angle where he's just holding the prop and kind of looks around like, hey, like whatever. All right. Moment of truth. Don't lick me. Arrow in hand. Oh, why? No! Why? What have I done wrong? What am I doing wrong? What is happening that is not working? This is the most frustrating. I remade the arrow from scratch. Yeah, don't step on my tower and turn my computer off right now. I would scream. Alright, man, I remade the arrow from scratch, and I thought for sure that would do it. Alright, the only thing I think of is it's the textures, I guess. But they shouldn't... You know what I mean? They shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, they're not set different. Yeah. I've been trying to make custom animated models, and it's a nightmare. Absolutely. I know, yeah, I know we haven't really been, like, looking at chat and everything, but, like, that is, oh my god, that is the most... This is the most frustrating part of doing anything in this engine. And I love this engine. Again, I love this engine. I have nothing but love for this game and this engine and everything that it offers. I like the aesthetic. I like everything about it. I guess I'm gonna have to do, I guess this just isn't gonna work the way I want it to. But it's like, what about this shape that I have done wrong? What have I done? Is it... Oh, wait. Hang on. I haven't applied all of its stuff. You know, I know that's, like, stupid, but that really could sometimes... That could make or break torque script bullshit in DTSs. I had not applied the location or the scale or anything like that. I mean, looking at this, like, that's not a... Those aren't great faces either. Maybe that's another thing. Shade it smooth and add an edge splitter. Yeah, see, that still creates those weird faces. You know what? Yeah, hang on. Let me see. What is black? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, backface culling. It's not like I had this set. Control N to make sure the normals are out, facing the right way. I don't know. I have no idea what I could do differently to make this model function correctly. Because I even got... What really upsets me is that I got the animation thread right. That I clearly got the thread right so that the hand goes up, but the fucking arrow won't go with it. God damn it. Alright, I can try one more thing. Maybe doing that. Maybe doing that will have fixed it. I don't know. Let's even... You know what? Let's even go so far as to repackage everything. Start fresh. I know it won't necessarily mean jack all, but it doesn't hurt to dream, to wish. But again, okay, so if this doesn't work, if I turn the hand on and the arrow is still invisible for whatever fucking reason, I will not worry about... I can always do that shot as an insert later too. You know what I mean? I can literally, like, I can troubleshoot this off stream where we're not worried about time or whatever. Prop. Arrow, yep. We're not worried about the time that we're taking on the stream. And I can ask Conan and I can do all the different things and I can figure out what the hell I did wrong. Whatever. That is fine. Like I said, worst case scenario, if I get into the game right now and the arrow doesn't show up, we're going to skip that particular instance of that scene because I have the other two things. I can have him hold it, and I can have it be in the thing. I can pantomime or something. I'll figure it out. And then if later I can get the animation to work the way I want it to, I'll do that as an insert shot. And if I can't get that to work the way I want it to, I will find a way around it. But yeah, because we're not gonna spend a lot of time troubleshooting if there's no point in doing that. But fingers crossed that this works. Nope, I could feel it. I was like, it's not gonna work. I don't know why. And again, I don't know what I don't know what happened that made this happen. But it is infuriating, is it not? All right. Well, I said I wasn't going to worry about it, so I'm not going to worry about it. But that makes me worried then. It's like, so then can I do the map? Can I do the map correctly? Is that going to work for me, or is that going to have a problem? You know, like, what is it? Is it the textures? Is it why doesn't what is it that the hand shows up but the arrow doesn't show up? Like, all right, here's something else we can try, just to see if this does anything. So on player touch, player play animation. Where is it? There it is. Play animation, activate. I don't know. So this is what I mean. I could have him do something like that. And it would be bot, obviously, because it'd be a film bot. So on bot touch. Bot play animation. Oh, can you not have the bot play an animation? Or do you have to also use player? Hold on. Bot play animation? There we go. Does that work? I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, what? There's a way to do this. Oh boy, okay. It's not self. I thought it was bot. Set. Bot. Play gesture. Oh my god, okay, that's what it is. Play gesture. Activate. Oh, I forgot. Okay. If he's gonna keep if he's gonna do that, arm up? Is that what I want? No. I thought it was activate. I mean, it is activate. But oh wait, move activate. That might be. Oh, see, but then he just starts flailing like it's that. But that's not right. I want him to do that. I want it to just look like that. Blah 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 blah. Maybe we could do something. I mean, that actually is kind of funny. You know, hang on. Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. Let's see. Because if he's supposed to be a helper, right? And so if he's holding the thing, so we'll have him like walk over and then like lick it. And then maybe step back. I don't know if that'll work right though. Yeah, I don't know. That's not really what I want. Oh wait, what about wrench? Hold on, or rotate. Even rotate could work. Let's see what that does. Hold on. That's kind of what if I set the time scale really low so that we can actually like kind of see it? I know this is going to take us forever to get on the platform now, but I could get away with this. I could get away with that. Having the bot kind of turn its head and then maybe we play that animation. We just do it at this speed. So it's like he kind of, and if I put like a sound effect while it happens, yeah, you know what? We could get away with this. I think we can do this. I think this will work. So, okay, so unfortunately that it didn't work the way I thought it was going to work, but whatever. Again, this is what Blockland Machinima is about. This is about problem solving. And it's what I've said every stream, is it's about knowing what you want to do and trying it the way you think it should work. And that's the thing. The way I did it the first time should work perfectly. I don't know why it didn't. I don't know what I did wrong. And if I can fix it, I will. Again, if I can do it as an insert shot later, I will. But it's all about problem solving. So it's like even when you get to these problems like this, you know, you just have to find the compromisable solution, I guess. You know what I mean? You have to find that way to make it still happen for you, because it's like you can't. This game is now 20 years old. It's not as easy as, like, you know, when I'm programming something in the Godot engine or whatever, or even in Blender itself, where I just you know what I'm trying to say, where it's like you just immediately. You can just see things change and play animations as they are and just have everything work exactly right. It doesn't always happen that way. And that's okay, you know? That's just, sometimes that's the luck of the draw. So let's see where our arrow is going to stick out. Because we need to have an arrow lodged in a tree. Yep, okay, so we got to rotate it. So if it's north, I want it south. There we go. So yeah, so there's our poison arrow. So let's actually put it up somewhere, so that a player can reach it. So maybe here, probably. Have it face south. Yeah, there we go. And so we're going to turn the rendering off on all of these. Oh, and the collision, actually. I don't want the collision there. You need to be none, and then turn your collision off too. There. Okay. so there's our poison arrow. So we got, and actually I'm gonna take a little. Oh, okay, hang on here. What can we do here? Maybe click it, and then have it. Yeah, click and then boom. Yeah, okay, hang on. This could work. All right, so here's maybe how I'm thinking this. So events, on activate, self, set item to none, and now here's what I think I'm gonna have happen. Oh, hang on. Delete scenes. There we go. Okay, make sure I'm not holding it. Oh, and make sure the arrow is what I have out. Okay. So now, if I record the scene, so I'm having him walk over. Oh, I don't like that. Hold on. He needs to be coming from this direction. Okay. So, okay. He's recording. He's walking. He's coming through the woods. He sees an arrow. He goes, oh, what's that? Hold on. Let me walk over to it. Click it. Oh, I fucked up. I couldn't see it. Hold on. Where am I actually? Oh, I'm way below it. Okay, I fucked up. All right, I got to be under the arrow. Hold on. That's okay. It's all the joys of acting. All right, item, arrow, lodge. Put it back. Okay, so it's underneath that arrow, so that's okay. So let's delete our scene, which we did. Okay, cool. Got the arrow out. All right. Record. Walking through the jungle. Walking through the... Hey, what's that? I'm gonna go, and I want to be... There. And now, if I did that right... Oh, let me change the environment too, just because we'll probably film this too. Temple, and I know we were using the alt, but I think I can switch back to the regular now. Oh, I also forgot. If I don't have that arrow lodged in, it won't work right. There we go. Let's put me somewhere all the way out here. Let's see if this looks the way I think it'll look. Haha! There you go. See? Little things like that. So he looks like he picks the arrow out of the tree. And we can... Yeah. Okay, cool. So arrow lodged. Reset it. Put it back again. Oh, I also wanted to add real quick to the scene. I wanted one of the other helper guys to be there. So let me have him follow. So F. So I wanted him to kind of like be walking. Because I'm also going to have Indy walk through the scene too. So I'm definitely out of frame by now. Cool. I can reset it later. And let me change to Indiana Moans. Boom. Alright, where are they standing? Right there? Alright, I want Indy to go first. So... So he's definitely out of frame by now. Cool. Let's make sure I'm out of frame. Well, oh, hang on. I'm going to reset or it won't work. Arrow, nope, sorry, arrow lodged. There we go. Let's just go over here. Alright, I really liked this shot that I had going on here. So let's, yeah, I think that's what I want. Alright, and let's pull up this. Make sure we're actually recording Blockland. There we go. Record. And then, yeah. So, yeah, you can see Indy's face. I don't really care. Again, it's whatever. Oh, hey, he walks over. Plucks it out. Cool. And actually, I kind of like the, Oh, I like this angle, too. But, hold on. Yeah, here, look around. Do a little look around. Yeah. Like, oh, I got an arrow. Alright, so now we're not recording, so that didn't matter. But hold on, that's fine. Let's do one more shot with the arrow too, just from a different angle. Oh man, am I not? What item did I just make? Oh, it's up the tree. Oh my goodness. It's actually lodged into the tree. That's funny. Here we go. Arrow lodged. There we go. Okay. I would like to redo that shot again. Perfect. So let's actually record. Play. Ooh, I like this. I actually like this angle a little bit better. And then bloop, plucks it out. And he kind of looks at it. I was even thinking maybe we could do a reverse shot there. So here's another idea, right? So hang on. Okay, I did arrow lodged. One last idea. I kind of want to see it from this angle. Where'd it go? Here we go. Let's find out where they're going to be before he clicks it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. So this is about where he's going to be. Yep, that looks good. Let's record that. There we go. Well, that looks like shit, actually, because you can't even see it. So hold on, let's redo that. So maybe, maybe from up here? Because we see him pull it out, right? I want to see him pull it out. So yeah, maybe from up here. This could work. Alright. Let's record that. Actually, pull back just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So this gives us a nice angle we can cut to. Yep. There we go. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Now, stop recording for a second. So now we don't need... now we need to have our bot... rotate the arrow so that it looks like he licks it. So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. I'm going to have one bot activate it and then have it only apply, I think, if I have this right in my head, it should just apply for a couple of seconds or whatever. So on bot touch. Or wait, no, hold on. We're gonna call this plate, and then actually, I think this will work, right? Because then, oh wait, no, yeah, hold on, yeah, no, I need on bot touch. I know how I'm gonna do this. Self, or no, bot play. Gesture, and I want to try. I'm gonna try wrench actually. Let's hold on. Let's try this because I want to see what this looks like. Delete scene all. Record a scene. Undo that recording and play it. No, okay, that's not right. So. What did we say this one looked like? I mean, that one has... Because so here's what I'm going to have happen, right? So I actually want this to not be activated. I want this to toggle the event on and off, right? So event, whatever, 0. Yeah, event 0 in plate. So event... on activate, named brick, plate, Set event enabled. 0 to click yes. And then I'm actually going to make this green because I want that to be the on brick. I think I can do it like this, right? And then, whoops. I'm actually just going to copy these events. Have them be over here. Send it. And then have this be the checking it off, right? So let's see if this works the way I think it'll work. So, right? Yeah, I think that worked. So let me see if my little... Yep, yeah, so yeah, see how he... Yeah, okay. Okay, so now, delete scene 1. Let's take my hat off. Let's look like the guy. And let's be holding an arrow. And let's record. Actually, wait, hold on. Delete scene 1 again. Let's record. And I want to look over at it. I think that'll do what I think it'll do. Okay, I think that's right. I might have to redo... Actually, I might just delete scene 2, actually. And... Because then I can time it better. He looks over and licks it and then doesn't. Okay, let's see if that did it. Hopefully the other bot isn't in the scene. That's the only problem, too. I think I can hide him behind the tree. Yes, yep. That works better. That works way better. That works way better. That looks way better than even whatever. Like, and that was an even easier, simpler thing to do, honestly. So, there you go. You know what? I can even go. Well, no. I wanted him to die in the same shot, but I guess I could cut. Maybe I'll cut. You know what? Yeah, I'll cut. I think I'll cut. Because I think I don't want to... I really like how this looks. I think I can find another angle of that. Yeah, that... Well, no, but this angle works better. But... I think we need to be zoomed in more. There. Okay, I like that. And now, so here's our finale. I say, you know what I mean. To this sequence, rather. Stop. Stop. Please stop. You are driving me insane with your tongue. It's gross. You have the little rough kitty tongue, and every time it's just bleh. Okay, so here's what I want. I want Satipo to walk by and kind of like, you know, like look at him like. So here's how we're gonna do that. So, stop. Okay, come here. Yeah, come here. You're going down there. Okay. Hold the arrow. So let's record his scene first, because he's gonna just, because Satipo's just gonna react to it. So he looks over, and he's kind of like, ugh. Alrighty. I forgot I don't have a spawn. I think we're down in here. Oh man. No, I know I'm over by the. Hold on, I know I'm over by the actual temple entrance. Here we go. There it is, yep. I'm going to make a spawn too, just in case. Well, no, because that's the only time I'm going to kill myself. Alright, and then let's look at MB Satipo. And so, yeah, he can be smiling for now, because he's going to have a different face. I'm going to cut to him. That's not how you... There we go. There we go. Okay, so. He's walking. He looks over. Cool. And then we're gonna cut to a close-up to change his face to look scared. So let's find the right angle. That's a pretty good angle, actually. Yeah. There we go. Record. Hide our thing. Okay. Stop recording. Delete our scenes. Change our Satipo to be scared, because we do have those faces. If you remember from that stream, the last stream, I think, or the stream before that. Where's the one with the scared? There. That's the oh, that's scared Indy. Hold on. Or scared Satipo. I made a scared Satipo, right? Yeah, there he is. Oh, oh no. And then this is just scared, run away, or whatever. I don't know, something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not still recording, am I? No. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna close up on that. Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually really funny. Okay, yeah, perfect. Record. Close up. Oh God! Oh, zoom! And there you go. So that's that scene, right? So let's go ahead and pull out of episode 3 folder again, footage, and get all of our indie footage that we're actually working with. Raiders, footage, paste, okay. And then let's actually edit this sequence together too while we're at it. And again, like I said, this can slow down your process. I'm not saying that this is the best way to do it, but this is definitely a part of, sometimes, depends on the sequence, I think. You know, it just depends on what you're doing and where that, will lead you. I like to do it sometimes like this if I really, with sequences like this where I know there's a lot of editing components, where I'm going to do a lot of things through cuts. I think it helps to have the editing bay open and to actually just work with it. But then also sometimes it just helps to just shoot and edit later, you know? You don't have to always assemble and shoot at the same time. So this is not necessarily the only way to do something. So, okay, so I want them to kind of be walking already. So I want to start sort of in the action. So that's the scene. So he's kind of like, huh? And then he looks over, right? And then I think that's when so he approaches. And then I wanted to get a close-up from there. Whoops. So I have that, I'll keep that, right? So I have that angle just in case I need it for later. Here's him actually pulling it out. Oh, you know what? This looks a lot better too. So let's cut. Let's cut from here. So where he stops. And then where he turns, right? So let's see if that looks right. Oh, you know what? I also really don't like that last shot. We can kind of cut that earlier. And I think we can even pull out more of this. So, oop. Nah, see, that didn't look right because there's that one guy stopping. Here we go. So we have to start at least on them all walking or it'll look a little odd. So then we're cutting to this. And then he kind of, okay. And then stops and turns. So hold on, I want to actually get the timing right. So maybe from right about there. Okay, I'm trying to get this really just to be exactly where I want the motion. Because I don't want it to, yeah. There, I think that's about, that kind of lines up, so let's see. Yeah, that looks really good. And that's where I want the cut to happen. Because I want that close-up of him walking over and taking it. Yeah, that looks great. And then I think I could just go straight into him licking it, couldn't I? Because I know I have this shot, and I don't think I liked that shot. I liked this shot. But do I like this better? Well, no, not necessarily. Actually, I kind of do like this overhead shot. Because it kind of conveys the action better. You know what I mean? So, like, hang on, maybe he turns, and then when he gets to it, that's when we cut. And then we see him take it. Like that. And then maybe we can go cut back into, after he's taken it, that's when he kind of, like, pulls away. Yeah. So let's, because I really still like that angle, right? So, how does that look? That doesn't look right. Hold on. I cut too soon. Oh, and that's way too soon too. So let's see, give ourselves a little more time. There we go. Okay. There we go. So he takes the arrow, and he kind of looks around at it. And then, so this is where we're going to, so here's how we hide it in editing. Let's find our shot of him licking it. Yeah, right like that. And then maybe, yeah, like a little bit of Satipo walking in, so there's a little bit of a build-up to it. And then right when he looks down, that's when we will cut to the scaredy face. So yeah, maybe like right from there. Oh wait, why did I see... Was that in there? Was that actually in there, or was that just... Okay, I also don't want him to be looking around for too long. I think right after he dies, too, should be like... And then... Yeah. So yeah, from right there, maybe. Oh, boy! And then that. But I think I can have a little bit more, right? Yeah. Or, here's a thought. You know how they say don't let the actors dictate the cut, let the rhythm dictate the cut? I'm going to try something. What if while he's dying... No, that's way too fast. Hold on. Maybe at the tail end? Nah, that's a little too fast. Yeah, I don't like it. I think I might actually keep it where it was. Yeah, I like that better. That was an idea. Like, it could cut on him dying, but like maybe if we had Satipo's face change and we still see him die, but I feel like that was a little bit of a sequence break to go that soon. So, all right, hey, so this is what I really like to do. I really like to watch. This is another reason why I do it, kind of what I do, is I like to watch the shots as I've constructed them so far. You know, how are they looking? How do they turn out? You know, what process have we done so far to create this? And it's like I can kind of get a feel for, you know, the rhythm as I'm going, so that we really kind of get the yeah. So again, so we can add a shot, we can add a line where he says something about the horse, probably like "Get that stupid horse up here" or whatever, and then it's just like then we can add another line probably where he's like "Fuck this horse," and you know, so we make it make sense in the thing. But this is looking really great with the music and the lights and everything looking as dark as it does. Like this is doing what I want. Fuck your fucking horse, man! Bang, 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 bang. You know, we'll put some lines in that makes this make sense. Like bang, 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 bang. All the ouches. And I'll fix the sound effects too to make it actually not have the death sound effect play too many times. But yeah, there we go. So then we got our little helper scene. He walks up, pulls out the arrow, holds it, gives it a little lick. Zoink, Scoo! Like there. And that's, you know, and that's where we're at so far. And we're doing great. And I got 20 more minutes. So what am I want to doing? What do I want to do? What am I want to doing? What do I want to do for the last 20 minutes before we wrap up the stream? So there you go. We're already at 1:45 into this video. You know what I mean? Like that's because obviously the first shot lasts a good what? So from 8 seconds to 38 seconds, so 30 seconds. That's a 30-second clip right there, you know? I gotta do something about the logo. Because I want to have Blockland Classics logo play. Maybe I will make a fake Paramount. But see, that's the thing. It's not in the center. I've already broken the logo joke, so that's not gonna work per se. Hey. Unless I reshot that whole opening, and I don't really want to do that because I feel like we had a really good. We got it to look really good right there. I don't have to do the logo thing. You know what I mean? Or actually, kind of looking at it, cutting it out. I could get away with making a fake. Because what is it? Real quick, what does the Paramount logo in the 80s look like? Paramount Plus. Fuck you. I hate Paramount. For all of the reasons that they've been acquired by right-wing bullshittery. So yeah, so this is what it looked like, right? It was blue with the stars, and that's why it was in the center, and it doesn't. Indiana Jones. Let's see. Let's look at the transition. Yeah, show me the opening mountains. I'm glad somebody has like a full compilation of this. Yeah, okay, so this is what I mean. So like this was the logo. And then it fades into being the mountain. And so we kind of goofed. I gave too little head space, so to speak. I know a mountain doesn't have a head, but you know what I mean. I didn't really get whoa. I didn't mean to do that. I gave too little head space to the mountain. So I don't know what I want to necessarily do with the logo, if I want to even do the logo gag. I kind of want to do the logo gag, but it's like, I don't know how to do that without reshooting this whole scene. Because this kind of works, you know what I mean? Like right here where I move up to show the mountain. If I had started there even, I could kind of get away with it, but yeah, whatever. I like this. I don't think I want to change it. I don't even need to necessarily do the logo gag, to be completely honest. It's not even a necessity. Because we've got what's going on here. And everything looks really good. I'm really happy with what this looks like. I'll have to add the lines to the horse thing just to make that make sense, because otherwise it's not going to make sense. Alright, he takes it, he licks. And then, so yeah, then we'll add the map in. I'll do the map gag. The map gag will be funny. And the way I have it written right now is is that Indy tries to crack his whip to stop him from pulling the gun on him. And then it's like, but he misses. And he's like, you missed. And he's like, oh, I miscalculated. I thought you were a few steps to the right. Should I move? If you don't mind. And then he's just going to do a little Blockland shuffle over. And then he's going to crack the whip again and knock the gun out of his hand. And then bum, bum, bum. So yeah, so we're doing pretty good. I'll have to make the signs that say Golden Idol gift shop, leave with a little man in your pocket, and we don't mean your husband. I make a lot of husband jokes, don't I? I realize that because in episode 2 I make the joke about we let him live here rent-free in exchange for his genetic material, and Obi-Wan's like, sounds like my ex-husband. I guess I make a lot of gay jokes. And I mean not at the expense of gays, you know what I mean, being gay. I guess, okay, so here's what I am going to probably do. I want to get this font, right? So let's just do that. Raiders font. And let's create the titles. Raiders of the Lost Ark font. Is it with a K or is it with a C? It's with a K. Why would I think it's with a C? Adventure font! Yeah, I knew it would be this. I am gonna need this though, so I should probably download it while I'm thinking about it. But I specifically want the Raiders titles font. Let's see. Titles font. Because I forget what this is even called. Titles and credits. Don't bite me. Little baby booby. Yeah. Well, then get out of my lap. If you're so angry. Okay, so yeah, it's called Open Capitalian, I guess. Which is cool, but how do you have it to download? Oh, and then it's Euro style. Let's see if we can find that. Ooh, I mean, does that look right? Like, I know that's a thing. This is obviously a... Does that look correct? R-A-I-D-E-R-S, Raiders. Yeah, that does look right, doesn't it? The curve of the S is right. Yeah, okay, that will work. I will take that, because that is at least close. And then let's see if we can't find this Euro style. Or something close to it. Oh, here we go, free font vault. Can I download you? Don't lick me. Oh, you've been annoying all night. Here we go. Alright, so we've got them all. So let's install that. Yeah. You're so angry. That's why you're gonna lick. Oh, it only works in capitals, so that makes sense. And then let's get Adventure. Let's get Adventure Hollow and Adventure, because I don't think I have these fonts installed, because I will need them eventually for logos and stuff. Oh, Adventures are... I do have Adventure installed. Aha! Okay, so I have done that before. That's funny. I do have that font. Alright, so now we need to go to Photo... Well, actually, this one we're going to do Photoshop, because I don't want to bother... I don't want to have to install... Oh man, I really love reading an article right there. France records 1,000 excess deaths during record-breaking heat wave. I love living in climate change. I love it. I love the world. This is why I do Blockland projects, is because I try to distract myself from all of the bad things happening outside these four walls. Because, boy howdy, if there ain't certainly all this sort of bad things happening. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do, too, is that I want to do... We're gonna have to make up some credits probably, because we can do Blockland Classic Presents. You know, that's gonna be easy. And then we can do a Swahili a Swahili Studios production, a Swahili film. You know, because we gotta really, and then whatever we're gonna call the title. I think Masqueraders, I think, was what I was working on. I had another good one. Shoot. Masqueraders of the last fart or something. Like, I don't know. I haven't quite figured out what I want to call it yet. Let me see. I'm going to open it up Discord on my phone so you guys can't see it. Oh, you know what? I'm silly. I could just do this. Just make me full for a second so I can just pull up Discord. Cause I'm trying to remember what I fucking how do you even spell Masqueraders? Oh, M-S-A-Q. Okay, that's why. Did I do it in the BLC thing? Writing? No, what the farts? I remember... God dang it. Let's see if I fart. Here we go. Breakers of the Soft Fart was one. Masqueraders of the Tossed Fart. That was another one. I don't know if I like Masqueraders of the Tossed Fart. Fart's too simple. So here we go. Yeah, so the last 10 minutes, let's come up with a title. Or even if it's just a Breakers of the Soft Fart is kind of funny though. Breakers of the Soft Fart, because it's like breaking wind, like breakers. Brickiana Jones and the Breakers of the Soft Fart. I liked Masqueraders too. I think I'm gonna, Breakers of the Soft Fart is what I think I'm gonna use for right this second. I might change the title later. Obviously, that's still up for potential. But in the meantime, let's make a 1980 by 802, and let's make some of our title cards here, right? I just heard something in my ceiling, which I can only imagine means that my neighbor upstairs did something, but God knows what the fuck they did. That worries me slightly, that I can hear it. If I can hear it, then that means, yeah, Breakers of the Soft Fart. Let's just have that written down for now. Okay. Oh, wow, yeah. All right, Breakers of the Soft Fart. Honestly, that is kind of funny. Breakers. Oh, we're still using the brick font. That's funny, too. All right, what was that one called that I just installed? Would help if I could remember things. Egmont. Egmont? Yes, there we go. All right, and then so how does this font actually look? So it's black with a white outline. Okay, so let's do that. So black. So we want this to be black. Oh, let's get rid of the background so we can see. And we want to have this layer have a white outline. It needs to be white. And it needs to be outside. Center? No, outside. And then let's, what are you doing? Just meh. Meh, meh. Meh, meh. Let's make it gray for a second so we can actually see it. Whoa, why do I have two? Oh. Because I forgot I wasn't working in, I wasn't working in, you know what I'm trying to say, Photopia, and I can just use Control-T. Because in Photopia, you have to use Control-Alt-T to, Okay, and it's a pretty thick outline. It's probably 6 like that, yeah? Yeah, Breakers. And then, what is the other one? And this is white. Oh, shoot. No. Farts. Don't do that. Of the Soft Fart. And then that one's called Euro Style, yeah. Euro Style. There we go. And then that one needs to be white. Bum, 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 bum. And then let's take them both and find center. That's silly. that's really silly, but I like it. I think I like that a lot, actually. So there we go. So let's go ahead and let's export our first title card. So we're gonna put that. We are gonna put. So this is why I made the titles folder in the project. So let's go and find Raiders, and we'll make a folder within the footage folder and just call it titles. That's where I'll keep them. We'll call this logo, and then we need to take. So we need. I'm going to duplicate that layer, and then so now we just need to figure out what the opening titles actually need to say. So first thing is Paramount Pictures Presents. So in our instance, it's going to be Blockland Classics Presents. I need to really scale this down. Is it present or presents? Presents. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously. It doesn't have to be one-to-one, but it's like, I want to make it at least make sense grammatically. So let's center that. And I probably don't need the outline on this layer to be as thick, because it's not as big. So probably maybe make that 4. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, we're going to export that as Title 1. And then, okay, so Blockland Classics Present. A Lucasfilm production. So what were we going to call it? Swahili Studios? I could just say a Blockland Machinima. So I don't have to put my name twice, but no, because it makes sense to make it. It makes sense to make it Blockland Studios, yeah. So what? A Swahili Studios production. Yeah, there we go. Scale that down just a little bit. Call that Title 2. Save. And then lastly, a film. Yeah, just a Swahili film is what we'll call it. Well, actually, you know, we can even call ours a video, because it's not really a film. There we go. Probably make that a little bit bigger. Oh, we're just coming up perfectly on time. This is great. Okay, cool. Because that's the thing. I don't have to keep playing more credits. Come to think of it. I just need these. All right, here we go. In titles, import. So we'll import our titles from... Oh, there it is. Pull those all in. Okay, Title 1. Title 2. Title 3. Logo. Here we go. Alright, so let's see what the timing is of all of this, and if this looks okay. I'm going to put a little film dissolve in front and after. So where does it actually come in? Okay, yeah, so these are pretty quick. These are pretty quick moving, so... These are going to go by too fast if I make them. So hold on. I might need to mess with the timing just a little bit. That's too long, but also why is Adobe doing this again? I need a new rig. Eventually that needs to be something I do, is I need to upgrade my fucking PC, because this is insane. I guess I could close Blockland. I'm sure that's causing a little bit of a memory leak. Oh man, I did not want to open that up. Yeah, there we go. And I mean, obviously having Photoshop open at the same time is not ever good. That's a little too long, so let's try that. And then let's lengthen them all out so that they're all the same. Baby, you were just yelling. I just want you to know that. You're just yelling. You are. You're just yelling. Okay, there we go. Pull that out. Pull Title 2, Title 3, Title 2, Title 3, and then the logo. Breakers of the soft fart. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, that doesn't have to go that far. And actually, you know what? Hold on. These guys can probably come back a little bit too. Yep. And then I can just play with that just a teensy bit. Because that, I know it's the logo and all, but like, there we go. Blockland Classics presents. That looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So Holly Studios production. Bum, bum, bum. And then the music is going to be perfect too. I wish I could, that's the thing, I kind of want to, I'm going to upload just this. What am I trying to say? I want to add the music too, but I'll get a copyright claim on it anyway. So it's just like, whatever. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I won't bother. I'll render this out for now, but Breakers of the Soft Fart. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the title. All right, right at 8 o'clock. Perfect timing. Perfect goddamn timing. All right, I'll make sure I'm saving my project. I am gonna export this while we're here real quick. And I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube channel and make it not public. I'll make it unlisted, but I'll put it in the BLC Discord, and I'll share that with Blockland United as well. We'll call this preview 1, because that's the thing. I don't want it to necessarily be, again, I don't want it to be that I make the whole movie on stream, because I mean, maybe I will. I'm not saying that I can't do that, but also it's just like, if I do that, there will be no surprise if I share everything I do every Sunday. But that being said, it's like I've been in another situation where, yes, hi. I've been in another situation where, you know, my real life stuff is getting in the way of doing. I'm really glad I have this streaming like date, because getting to do these things every week has kept me on track of at least like getting some stuff done. Whereas if I weren't doing it for the stream, you know, I'd be distracted, I'd be whatever. So it's like I really am glad that I get to work on this stuff while you guys watch. But also like thinking about it where I'm like, I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to just make the whole thing and then there be no surprise for anybody who's been watching me make it, and then know exactly every single joke, every single shot, every single thing. So I don't know. I'm at like a, I don't know where I'm at with that yet. I'll figure that out as I go. But I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get some more stuff done throughout the week. Did I spell Blockiana right? Indiana. Yeah. Iana. Yeah, okay. Blockiana Jones. And the Breakers of the Soft Fart. Work in progress. Not made for kids. Boom, boom, boom. Unlisted for now. Save. Publish anyway. I know for a fact there's no copyright in there because I made everything and there's no copyrighted sound. Okay, so that's uploading. So I'll get that. I'll put that in the Discords. So that y'all can see it for yourself. But yeah, so that was, I'll go back to this. So that was our stream for today. Thank you everybody who showed up. I know that was, I mean, wow, chat didn't even, here, where am I pointing? Right there. Chat didn't even get past right here. Normally we fill this guy up, but whatever, it happens. You know, today was a workhorse day. Today was because I knew I wanted to film. I wanted to do some filming, so I'm really glad I got to do some filming. So this like gives me a lot of behind the scenes work that I can pull up later. Because like I said, I went over the add-ons that I like to use. I went over how I use them. I went over film bots. I showed the process as I did it. I showed my problem solving as I worked through a scene. I showed the improvisational stuff that sometimes happens where it's like that's the beauty of getting to iterate as you do. But yeah, so thank you very much for coming today. Next week we're going to keep filming. We're going to keep working. And I don't know if I'm streaming right now, so hopefully this is still getting recorded. But if not, oh well. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.